Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Huber.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Yo.
Brandon Jones. And this is the last week before E3. This is a big
is technically
podcast.
this week. I mean,
Is
Saturday
that-
and Sunday are this week, and those are very big E3 days.
Saturday is officially an E3 day, yeah.
We'll be different people by the end of next week.
The world will be a different place.
New forums.
Yes. We'll have new forms for sure. Before we talk about E3 at all, it's time for our final Glenny's Cauldron segment.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we have, Ben, you have the honor of choosing the final ingredient in the cauldron.
Dang.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, our witch friend Glenny doesn't know a lot about video games, but she wants to make a most vile video game. So she trusts us to pick the ingredients. So what we do is we go to the wizard shops and we buy ingredients from our patrons who have submitted ingredients to us. This week, our final week, Glenny's she doesn't know a lot about video games. I don't know how she saw this, but she saw the Death Stranding trailer from last week. She saw that trailer and she says, I need that.
Did she see it or did she experience it?
She experienced it.
Okay.
I think Death Stranding is a thing witches know about.
Yeah, I have to think there's some overlap there. Yes.
He was dabbling some dark
Yes.
arts. and,
Consultant.
there's no way.
Before you get into this, let me tell you about the Death Stranding.
Yeah.
So she saw that and she says, I need a celebrity likeness in my vile video game. So what the patrons are selling us this week are celebrity likenesses and the names of the character that the celebrity will play.
I don't know if you can come up with better names than Kojima already has for his own characters.
That's what's funny is like reading through the entries, you can't parodize it. You can't make
Yeah,
fun.
right.
It's
right,
impossible.
There's like Hartman and Headman and Hoodman.
Die
Yeah.
Die
Hardman.
Hardman.
That's it. Like, you can't
Done.
do better than that.
You can't do it. What is funny is also patrons knew this is the last week. So in addition to the names, a lot of people tried to like do lore on top of it. It's just like this person is this person who also is this. And when you run into that person, this happens. It's like, no. Name a name, please. Here we go. Okay. From Michael Brigham. Ian McKellen as the Randy Old Man.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
there's
is.
nothing vile about that. That's
is.
I think it's like it's misusing it to me. You know what I mean? It's like Patrick Stewart as Poop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Randy
Ian McKellen
Old Man
would-
is not on the same league as
Ian
the
McKellen
poop,
would
though.
love that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That
would
would
lead.
brighten his day getting
Yeah.
that call
Great.
from his agent.
I
Great
agree.
comedy.
I
Okay.
agree.
All right.
Oh.
From Morgan Mahala, Justin Bieber as Squealin' Shay Higgins.
Now we're talking.
And I gotta say, like, I don't love Bieber jokes, but I love Squealin' Shay Higgins. What is that?
I just like a pig, right? Like he's annoying.
Yeah.
He must have
Pig.
some pig-like attributes.
Yeah.
And so this is a likeness, right? Like we're putting this person's likeness into this game. And maybe it's just like Guillermo, right? Where it's not like he's even doing the voice. It's just like they just photogrammed him and he's in there. Which celebrity are we picking for our vile video game?
Between those two, my goodness. Come on.
What?
Bieber clearly wins by
Yeah.
landslide.
Oh, Screaming Shay Higgins?
Squealing Shay Higgins, yeah.
I'm squealing for Bieber at this point.
I'm bummed
Bieber.
that you didn't come up with that name, Kyle.
Squealin' Shay Higgins?
Yeah.
Me too, man. Me
really
too. So, Ben, do you agree we're just going to buy Squealin' Shay Higgins? This was a home run?
I mean, when I think about it, it makes me uncomfortable. So that's a good sign.
Okay. All right. I really thought we'd go the other way with Ian McKellen. To me, it's just like, oh, Ian, no. Like, yes, and then no. But we're fine with him being the Randy Old Man.
I think he's fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Because he's going to be up, he's going to be nominated. Ian McKellen is going to be nominated for Best Actor at the Game Awards in 2019. And Carcerar is going to be pissed.
Kyle.
Carcerar's going to be like, no, don't you get it?
I want it. It's supposed to be vile.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
producer. It's like, he's bad. And
Yeah.
Let me sell you
Just
on
love
this
Ian McKellen.
just very quickly. Okay. Just picture a close-up of Ian McKellen.
Okay.
And he's in some interview. It doesn't matter what it is. And
Yeah.
the interviewer goes, so tell me about this new role. And Ian McKellen just curls his lip up a little bit and he goes, oh, you mean the Randy Old Man?
Now, I'm going to throw this back at you. All three of you, I'm going to throw this back at you because it's just his likeness. You're going to have to see Ian McKellen with some other person doing a voice that he thinks Ian McKellen would sound like.
An Ian McKellen impersonator?
Or just like some voice. Like, oh, I'm playing the Randy Old... I'm doing the voice, but with Ian McKellen's likeness.
But for Squealin' Shay Higgins, someone is going to put on it has potential to be vile.
You're right. That's just simply
Yeah,
violent.
why
You
wouldn't
know?
it be his voice?
Oh, it's like Guillermo del Toro is not going to be his voice in Death Stranding.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Same with
yeah.
Refn.
The other
Guillermo's
director.
is going to be really weird, though.
It's got to be weird. It's got to be. It won't match no matter what.
No.
Yeah, it is going to be
so
weird.
It's gonna take me out of it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, because it's like a 1-to-1 likeness. It's not even like, oh, it's kind of like him. That's him. That's what we're doing with Ian McKellen. But we're buying it. We're buying it. Morgan, we're buying it.
Okay.
We're sealing the cauldron shut. There will be a Glenny's Cauldron game jam. I'll talk about that at the end of the podcast because it's a lot to get through. Until then, we need to get to corrections, please. Jones, please begin corrections music. Pumping is a skating/blading technique that allows you to gain extra speed across transitions. Shifting your weight across your momentum of inertia allows you to impart an accelerative force without a traditional push. Now we know. I made fun of the term, and then it's just like a bunch of rollerbladers are like, dude, come on. This is what we do. And it's like, okay, all right, I got it now. Terry Pratchett. Look, I got a lot of comments about how good of a person Terry Pratchett is. And
Nice.
like a smart and a great writer. And so, doesn't happen a lot. Terry Pratchett has earned an Easy Allies podcast eternal pass from mockery. No more will we make fun of Terry Pratchett. And if you're keeping track, there's only one other person who has earned this, Jane Goodall. So Jane Goodall, Terry Pratchett, we will never make fun of. Everyone else, on the table. Gandhi. We talked about the Xbox press conference. Never brought up Cyberpunk 2077 the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah, and lots of comments brought that up. Absolutely, count on it. Get the tattoo. It will be there. You will see that game played during the
Get
Xbox
the
press
tattoo.
conference. Yes,
Okay.
that's like my surest lock. You know what I mean? Like it's beyond draft the tweets. It's like get the tattoo. It is happening. And correction music, please. What?
You think playable? Like someone's gonna demo it at the show, or it's gonna be gameplay?
Ooh, now we're talking,
Because I
baby.
could also see because we still don't know like names very much. Like we saw a lot of faces. We saw like your friend that kickstarts that mission that we went on in the gameplay demo. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if just for the sake of time to cram more into the Xbox press conference, it's like a very story heavy. It's like, okay, now here are the characters. Here is the bad guy.
The hook.
You know, like,
yeah, I get you. Yeah,
be interesting if they focus on that.
I think you're right. I think it's not gonna be game.
And then they have another behind
Yeah.
closed doors thing, and then show it 3 weeks later.
And then it comes out this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
good to hear.
Yep. It's on my fantasy team. So
Lock it in.
it has to. Oh, and we had another update.
Fantasy update?
Oh boy, wait till the next fantasy update. I'll wait for Ian for sure. But like, guess who got Death Stranding, baby?
Was it you?
It was me. Oh, I'm out of money. Beyond Good and Evil 2, we talked about it during our Ubisoft discussion. Not going to be in the press conference. They're doing their own live stream outside of it prior to.
Oh,
Yeah. So hey.
like tomorrow? There's not many days left.
Yeah, I think it's like today or tomorrow. It's Jones. I've
Wow.
lost track. There's like
Yeah,
Destiny 1 this week.
man.
There's just so many.
Is
happening.
anybody actually presenting during E3?
I don't think so, man.
Okay.
I hear a lot of dancers are just gonna be on stage. My favorite way to start a podcast is a game announcement. And it feels like on this week, we can't even spend that much time on it. This is absurd. But within the last 7 days, Call of Duty Modern Warfare was officially announced. And if you haven't heard about this yet, this is this year's Call of Duty game. Infinity Ward is developing it. It's coming out October 25th, and it is a spiritual reboot of Modern Warfare, using a lot of same characters, but in a different way. It's not like, hey, we're resetting the timeline. It's they use the James Bond comparison of like, hey, these are the same characters, different played by different people, different scenarios. It's like, okay, all right, you know what I mean? Tone heavy is what I got from the trailer.
So heavy.
That is like the most immediate difference I would say from this to Call of Duty's prior is its heavy tone. Trying to show multiple sides of war, I guess. We're splitting sides of. Jones, you had a preview about this, right? Like we
I
can
went to
talk about
Infinity
this.
Ward, yeah, and checked it all out.
What is this game? What is it, man?
This is Huber. I was bummed because you were gone and I couldn't sit you down to talk to you about this, man. But like, there are 2 missions that they showed. One is very clearly like headline bait, where they were like, we're putting guns in kids' hands and these kids have to like defend themselves. It was gripping, but it was like, okay, this is going to be the headline. I can tell. You know, this is going to be like the major thing people are talking about. The other one though, where you're the tier 1 operators, Huber. You're in a house, night vision. going up a staircase. You can hear dudes top levels that know you're there. They're like, they're downstairs. And you're going up really tight corridors. They said that a lot of first-person shooters will make stuff wider than it would be in real life because it's just frustrating. AI doesn't like doorways and like tight corners and stuff. They were like,
I've always wondered that actually.
We wanted to make your buddy AI so good that it could, navigate these environments and look natural. So when you're just going up this spiral staircase, you are like right next to these guys. And it's like Rainbow Six Siege. They can fire through the walls, through the doors. A lot of just really intimate kicking down a door, seeing a guy in night vision freak out and reach for the gun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they really focused on, you can see your own guys with night vision. There's little panels on them that will reflect, so you can tell the difference between your teammates and the enemy. And they put a lot of emphasis on what decisions do you have to make as a soldier when you're in that moment, and it's I have to kill this person, this child, this man, this woman, whatever, to save myself or to finish the mission. Will you do it?
Did you do it? Did you kill a child?
I didn't play. I watched Infinity War play it, but I mean that's the question. Like in one part, a woman runs across the room to grab her baby out of a crib, and it's just like, I don't want to see some monster stream this on Twitch. Like, what are the parameters here? Like, what are the how deep does that rabbit hole go?
That's happening. That the woman is going and grabbing her child. Thanks for the $25 donation, butt fart 51. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But it was intense in a lot of ways. Graphically, subject matter, the missions that they showed off.
I feel like the last couple Call of Duties have gone away from like the tactical vibe. I think of like Modern Warfare 1 where you infiltrate the ship on the water and you're just like breaching in. Like I love that kind of stuff.
You're right. Breaching was cool. It was. I forgot about that.
It's kind of trended more toward like superhero.
Yeah, everyone just running and shooting.
Not a lot of running. That's like a big difference. This is a very slow, deliberate, emotional. A lot of interesting
tactics.
AI. One guy crawled underneath a bed. So he like ran around the corner of the room, and so our soldier's like peering around the corner, like where did he go? And he had like gone underneath the bed and crawled toward the front and just popped out with his gun. And so he just shot up the whole bed and just
Our guys or their guys?
Their guys.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you could probably do that too.
Side question, Huber, have you ever done a syndrome in night vision?
Ben, it's funny, Jones and you bring up night vision because actually it's one of the things they're bragging about is they have a new lighting engine.
Yeah.
They have a whole new engine, and they part of it's like the night vision is real, the infrared is real. As close to. I mean, obviously you're simulating everything, but yeah, they're super proud of their night vision.
Will Sam Fisher steal their night vision spotlight?
Ooh, that
Wait.
is such a good question.
And heat vision.
What is it? What do you mean?
Like, will he be like, yo, I got the best night vision?
Yeah.
When Splinter Cell gets announced.
Do you think they would really go out of their way to directly compare? Look at our night.
Dude,
We're gonna
when
have
I
to.
think of
Yes,
Splinter
we
Cell,
will have to.
the first
Absolutely.
thing I think
Absolutely,
of.
but it would just be
noise,
really.
yeah.
It just be. I'm just thinking of Sam Fisher in the trailer being like, "Now this is real modern warfare," or just something like that. That is directly.
I would never shoot the woman. Some other really cool details. It will have crossplay between consoles and PC.
Totally didn't mention
There
that
it
in our
is.
preview.
Crossplay,
Totally forgot because there's some stuff that we are not allowed to say until E3 or
Yeah.
maybe potentially after that we learned. But that was one that I'm like, forgot because
That's a huge
the
detail.
juiciest tidbit, I think.
That is juicy.
Yeah.
So that is, very few games get that. Fortnite's got that deal. I think Rocket League has that deal, but very few games get that cross compatibility. So it's cool that Call of Duty's willing to do that. Sony said, okay, go for it. However, I should say, look, Sony has 7-day DLC exclusivity on new content. So it's still just you can't play those new maps with your friends who are on Xbox and PC. But generally, there's no season pass. They want to get rid of that. They want everybody to be on the same page. New maps come in. Basically, they just want you to buy microtransactions, Fortnite style, right? We can give this stuff for free as long as just people will be interested in the world and spend money on cosmetics. But yeah, it's kind of weird, that they do those. They open those doors and still kind of shut it a little bit with the PlayStation exclusivity. But I assume that paycheck is rather large.
I would also assume this will be the highest selling Call of Duty of all time.
All time?
Every time.
Just because I just think of all of those conversations of dude, we're Call of Duty. Be like, no, I'm on Xbox. Or just nah, I'm not interested. And you're like, you have no excuse now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy this year's. We're all getting into it. All right.
Is this
There's gonna be a
coming
lot of peer
from
pressure.
a personal place?
No, I just think it's really shocking when they announced that. Like, and you could say they kind of announced it like it wasn't a big deal in the press when at Infinity War, and all of us kind of looked at each other in this theater like, wait, did he just say what I think he said?
Do we think we'll see any battle royale with that, Jones?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay.
I think Blackout's going to be their battle royale
For a
for the
while.
next year until Black Ops 5 next year.
Just doesn't seem to fit everything they're doing.
Maybe some like cross promotion,
But again,
like
yeah.
buy this
Campaign in a
Captain
big way.
Price or
Yeah.
something.
Other thing too is there's two factions. You're following the tier 1 operators, and you're also following like rebels, basically.
Right.
And so on the campaign, you will go back and forth between having really, really good tech or going up against people with really, really good tech.
Do you think the final mission will be head-to-head? Those, like, you have to meet each other. The
No,
tier
maybe.
1s and these rebels.
I mean, they mix it up. So tier 1 goes against rebels, tier 1 goes against tier 1, rebel goes against tier 1, and rebels go against rebels. They were like, those are all completely different combat scenarios we're trying to design them to be. So you'll get a little taste of all of that in the campaign.
Yeah. And sorry, one last thing I didn't mention is, but it seems like somebody, if you like look at the YouTube comments, everyone is very excited that Captain Price is the main
Price.
character.
And
Yes.
you mentioned photogrammetry earlier in this episode. They're
Yeah.
all actors actually playing them. So the writers were like, that was a trip, being in the room with Captain Price, having this guy like dress up as him and actually like, play the character, this character that we created out of thin air.
I guess I didn't realize that, like,
9 or 10 years
he's
ago.
so beloved. We talked about how nobody knows the name of the character of the guy in Titanfall.
Yeah.
Like Captain Price, people know.
Yeah.
He's a first-person
It's very
character.
iconic.
Yeah.
What kind of name is Soap anyway?
He leads you though, right? You don't play as Captain Price in the first one.
you play
Yeah.
Soap.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Sick.
That is, I think, Jones, if it isn't the best selling ever, it's going to be the best selling game of the year for sure. That's a huge game announced last week ahead of E3. I mean, I think there's a greater topic to have about the ahead of E3 stuff. I don't know if we'll get to it. Put a pin in that because it's something we were talking about before the podcast started. It's interesting, these dynamics. We have more game announcements. You would think I'd be excited about these things because they all start with the word Pokemon. But in fact, I'm so unexcited about this next part of the podcast. Last week, let's just start with this one. A software app called Pokemon Sleep was announced. And this is in conjunction with a device called the Pokemon Go++. Will allow...
It's actually called that?
Yeah.
It is called
Plus.
the device. The device is called Pokemon Go++. Will allow the Pokemon software to watch how long you're sleeping, to listen to how long you're sleeping, and depending on how good of the sleep you get, you will be rewarded the next day in some manner in this game that was never shown. The game was never shown. The application.
Well, you'd have to just show somebody sleeping.
That's what they did. I just saw a bunch of people sleeping in this presentation.
That's the game.
No. You're sleeping in real life.
Yeah.
You put this thing next to your bed. When you wake up, you got like sleep points.
Yeah.
That in the game, you use those sleep points for something.
You don't think you use those in Go?
Yeah, I think you use them in Go.
I think you use them in Pokemon Sleep.
Well,
Sleep
there will be
sounds
a
like
separate
some
app
kind
that
of
tracks
app.
them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Sleep is going to have its own like campaign. Or
This is
something,
what
I don't know if like.
was never made clear last week. This they had so few
And I never
details.
thought about it until this moment. Kyle.
Yes.
Like we don't know what that looks like.
Pokemon Company's goal is to make sleep into entertainment. That is a phrase they used.
It's a noble effort.
No, it's
Noble?
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is ignoble.
Yeah. Because really, if we want to get stupid nitpicky about it, they're making waking up entertaining.
Yes, that's another thing they said. We want to make you look forward to waking up every day.
Dude, dopamine every time you wake up.
Well, that's why I love
Yeah.
the mobile games. I wake up and the first thing, like, oh yeah,
Got my energy.
Galaxy of Heroes, everything reset.
Won't that
Let's
have
start over.
Won't it have like a compound effect though? If let's say you just have a bad night and
Yeah.
you just don't sleep well, and then you wake up and the game is like, that's the best you could do.
Yeah, man.
Like that's gonna make you feel even worse.
Squirtle's like all beat, got bags under his
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Like Squirtle. You're like,
Squirtle, I'm sorry, man. I have a job, dude. Like, these are my hours.
it sends you a notification at just 2:30 from Squirtle. Like, how could you?
Yeah.
Yep.
What's
Just managed to get 30 minutes, feeling a little bit better.
What's Snorlax's role in this whole thing?
There was an exclusive sleeping Snorlax that appeared in Pokemon Go to celebrate the announcement of Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah. So there's got to be crossover.
There will be so
It'd be
much
so silly
crossover.
if there's not.
Other announcements, another mobile game. I think we talked about it a little bit, that DNA was working on a mobile game. That is called Pokemon Masters. Now, this one's a little different. This is what we assume to be their gacha game, their heroes game, basically, where you kind of buy some packs and you get people of certain stars. It is using all of the characters from the games, the trainers from the games, like the gym leaders, the main character, like buddies, and like the people you play as, will appear as characters in this game, and they each have a partner Pokemon. And there's some sort of 3v3 turn-based battle. Very little was shown. It was said that Ken Sugimori is just one of the original Pokemon designers and artists from way back when, from Red and Blue and Green, had the idea. Said, I got an idea. Let's make Pokemon Masters. And they really, really pushed him as the name behind it. It looks cool graphically. It looks like, hey, I've never seen these characters look like this. I've never seen Brock flex his shirt off.
Straight up and down, Fire
So-
Emblem style.
Yeah.
I agree that when they were like focusing on a particular trainer,
Yeah.
yes, and I really liked the art, and we saw so very little of it, so it could
Right.
change, I guess. But when we saw that like split second of them doing the 3v3 fight, my knee jerk reaction was like, this just looks really flat.
Yeah, so if I could explain it, it's like imagine a floor, imagine an arena. There's 3 Pokemon who are your opponents on the top, and your 3 Pokemon are on the bottom, represented by symbols, I think. And it looks like you kind of flick your attacks up toward them.
It just didn't look exciting at all. And then
Right.
you saying like flick your
Yeah,
attacks towards them.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But
But that's the one shot we got of
right,
gameplay.
right. There's a lot more to see, but
But that's
yeah.
all they give us. That's the
Yeah.
thing, is you got to work on these presentations. You got
Yeah.
to give us the proper expectations, or else we will expect bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I expect bad, but I do think that is 2019, that game coming out. It is.
And just saying like it's a gotcha game, like I'm already going in with some reservations.
That's all our assumptions. They
Yeah.
obviously did not use the word gotcha, but if a game is about heroes on mobile, you got to assume.
Yeah.
You got to put two and two together there. Okay, so Pokemon Go++, Pokemon Masters. Pokemon Home is another 2020 project. This is replacing Pokemon Bank, basically. It'll be a software app where you can bring all your Pokemon into it and then trade with other people on your phone, using your phone.
They're hitting me in my sleep. They're hitting me at the bank. What is it? What is
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Pokemon,
Pokemon
Food is next. Yep.
Pokemon driving.
Pokemon Air.
Pokemon shower. Pokemon hygiene.
Pokemon marriage counseling.
Lord.
It's another thing. It's like Kojima names where it's like, how do I make fun of it? It's just like once you do sleep, it's like they took the most absurd step. I can't heighten it. I have no idea how. Making your sleep entertainment. It's like, let us have our sleep, please.
Yeah.
Let us have that.
Random thought.
Yeah.
I wonder if like what they're doing and their naming, I wonder if at all when they were initially like doing Pokemon and showing it to people, people were just very dismissive of it, like Pocket Monsters,
Yes.
Pikachu, and like maybe that has emboldened them where like nothing is too insane.
Yes. It kind of has.
Right, where it's just like, yeah, we'll do it. Pokemon Sleep.
If this works,
It's gonna work. Everything, every other crazy thing that we've done. Yeah.
and it's kind of been true. How could they possibly be stopped now? Oh, finally, lastly, there will be a sequel to Detective Pikachu, the 3DS game, on Switch. No release date, no details, no screenshots. Just
It
hey, it's in
concludes the
development.
story.
Thank you, Jones. There is a detail.
There's that. I remember them saying that, like, this is
Yes.
going to be the part 2, and that's it.
Yeah.
This will be all your questions will be answered.
So apparently in Japan, there's 2 Detective Pikachu games that they combined into one in the U.S. So
Got
that's
it.
Jones, basically the end of a trilogy,
Yeah.
baby.
Did you play Detective Pikachu?
I did not.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to get into non-canon spin-offs.
Yeah.
It's a little weird for me. It's like, does it really talk? This one, I want to acknowledge this. I wonder like how we'll cover it next week. It's just a thing that's I think about to happen very soon. It's a big game announcement that I hope doesn't get buried. And we don't even know if it's happening for sure. So Larian Studios, who does
Yes.
Divinity Original Sin, they did Divinity Original Sin 2 recently, teased a logo for Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We assume that it will be announced actually during the Stadia event this week, the Google Stadia event. Like it's rumors are pointing toward that being where this is announced. So that's pretty crazy. But this is one of those things where the viewers and listeners probably know more than we do.
This is a best case scenario.
Why?
Okay, so in middle school, like in 6th grade, I was just getting into D&D, and I fell in love hard with several things. The Dragonlance books And Baldur's Gate was one of those things. And I just got into Baldur's Gate because it was Dungeons and Dragons. And I like Baldur's Gate 1, but I really loved Baldur's Gate 2. Despite not being very good at it, I just like immediately that game, like it is like opening minutes has just this incredibly fascinating world and characters, and it was just rich. It was just like immediately captivating. I was blown away at the time that I played it. And it going to Larian Studios, Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of the best role-playing games.
And from what I
that
understood,
I've
they were like making a Baldur's Gate game without making one. Like, right? Wasn't that kind of the goal?
I mean, they were a lot of the things that you would love about that style of game. Like the spirit was there. Obviously, they did their own thing with it. To say that it is just that would be selling Divinity way, way, way short. But it's like you have full confidence, or I have full confidence in Larian, and they're being given something that people have wanted a sequel to forever. And it's just it's hard to imagine like a better case scenario than what's happening.
Oh, like a better studio.
Right. Like I don't know that like this is it. This is like a dream come true.
Yeah, it's a dream.
What if
Such a
if
dream.
I hate Google Stadia?
Well, don't play it on Google Stadia.
Yeah, it might be on console too, right?
I-
Eventually, maybe
No,
down the
I'm
line.
I'm sure it'll have like a regular PC release.
Sure.
console
Epic
release,
Game
all that
Store.
stuff. It might be a featured Google Stadia game, but that doesn't mean it's only on Google Stadia.
Cool.
If it is, well,
Take what we can get.
But that's the thing is it's still happening.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's the kind of exclusives I can totally get behind. Is like, hey, they're at least making this game exist.
Yeah, Bayonetta 2, you know.
Yeah, exactly that, Jones.
well,
yeah.
yeah, and it's. I don't know what's going to happen,
Right.
but Larian has proven that they're going to make the kind of game that they want to make,
Yeah.
and that they can find success with their own vision. Like Divinity Original Sin 2 is not the most accessible game. It's not trying to appeal to its wide audience. It just has a very strong vision, and people come to it, which I really like. So I imagine no matter what happens with Baldur's Gate 3, they'll take the same approach.
And I do want to make clear before I cause any panic is that the rumor I had seen, I'll look it up during podcast halftime, also stated that hey, it might be a Google Stadia exclusive, but you'll still be able to download it. So like even if it is an exclusive there, you'll still be able to have a downloadable version that you can play at any time. On top of that,
I mean, it's something where if it is a Google Stadia exclusive, which I don't think it will be, it's like, I guess I'm buying one of those for sure. Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that for Google to show like what chess piece they're putting on the board.
That's what sucks,
in terms
man.
of like there's got to be one shocking, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like you're kidding. Oh.
so that is this week as well. That's another pre-E3 stream
Yeah.
that I wonder if we'll even talk about on next week's E3 stream. E3 podcast, I mean,
Yeah.
If it were a Stadia exclusive, though, it would be a weird exclusive. Like, yes, that's going to have a very dedicated, passionate audience, but I
Yeah.
don't think that's something that you could show to a wide group of people and then like understand what it is and why it's so cool. So it'd be a weird thing to like have with your kickoff celebration of this new
Ben,
console.
Your reaction though, if I'm at Google, I'm like, I spent my money correctly. I got Ben more excited. I know there are other
Right.
people like him out there
Right.
who are in immediately. Like to me, it's like I guess like the Netflix model is to get lots of different people very excited, as opposed to like one thing that
that's
like
a good-
broadly appeals.
That's a very, very good point.
And so I think like that's a play there. Again, that's one of those things though that our listeners and viewers they know everything about Stadia. They know how much it costs and like when it's going to launch. And so that sucks that we don't know. But I wanted to at least acknowledge it ahead of time. We could all sound dumb right now. Me especially. Jones, we could, dude. It's possible. Last time I was dumb, 4th grade. I've been smart ever
Even going
since.
from when we record this to when I edit it, I'm like, I'm so stupid. Like something I say later. It's like just quiet.
Yeah.
I'll see the waveform and I know I'm talking for another 60 seconds. I'm like, just wrap it up.
Last week it was you and Damiani insisting Call of Duty will be in the Xbox press conference. Are you doubling down on that?
Sure.
Even after
Even after what?
last week.
At
all those
least
reveals.
a 30-second. Do.
Oh, yeah.
Get him. Goo. Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare will use the Terminator theme.
Even after 7-day exclusivity on new content with the PlayStation platform.
Dude,
Okay.
they got so many bucks to throw around.
I can't take that.
They
Okay.
have all the bucks. It's gonna be on the Switch
We
presentation
also have
as
like
well.
Kingdom
The
Hearts
direct.
showed a trailer, but it was like the same trailer we saw in Square Enix. It'll be something
With,
like
like,
that.
something
It'll
a
be
little
like,
different.
oh, we've seen this, Modern Warfare trailer,
Wait.
but
Is the
just gotta
Modern
get it in
Warfare
there.
and Terminator theme like the same?
No.
He was using
I
the
don't know why
Terminator
my
one on
mind-
top of Modern Warfare.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, is
I
he
don't know why
doing the
my mind-
Modern
That
Warfare?
might be Battlefield inspired too. The dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
that's
little
really
bit
cool.
of
Did a little bit of it.
For our final E3 preview segment, we're going to look at Square Enix and Nintendo, which both have press conferences coming up this week.
Yeah.
Starting with Square Enix, we're going to start there.
Yeah.
It was confirmed last week that Square Enix's Avengers game will premiere during their press conference. Let's go. Wop, 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 wop. On top of that, go ahead. Let's go.
Something I love about Easy Allies
Yeah.
is the only thing, there was one thing in my brain while you were doing that, and there was only one thing in Brandon's brain when you were talking about Square Enix, and they were two completely different things.
Oh, were you thinking about Final Fantasy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I love that about it.
Yeah, actually, I'm curious about our listeners. Like, listeners, were you a Final Fantasy exciter
Right.
or Avengers
It's
exciter?
an
Like,
A
which one
type,
were
B
you?
type,
Yeah.
kind of.
I'm a C type. Equal hype.
I want to start with Avengers because we know nothing about it at this point. However, there was a listing for a panel at E3 Coliseum.
Right.
Mr. Keeley, my apologies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what was written there that was like later taken down. But there will be an Avengers panel, and we got some deets through the description of this
Yeah,
panel.
get your team
Details.
together, man.
We're gonna
Come on.
wait. Are you talking about the Avengers? Or are you talking about me and Mr. Keeley?
I'm talking about the whole team over at the Coliseum there.
Okay.
Careful.
Yeah, I mean there was like another thing where it's like, oh, okay, you want to say that? Okay, you know.
It's
Wait,
the first
what
thing
was
I
it?
thought when I saw that leak. I was like, boss, man.
It was not me. I did not type this. I simply am an announcer. Off-camera announcer is my title for the Coliseum. I got nothing to do with this. Believe me. Okay. All right. Marvel's Avengers Showcase, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, check it out. Embrace your powers and join key members of the development team as Crystal Dynamics and the creative team at Marvel Games as they talk exclusively about the upcoming Marvel's Avengers. This is the defining Avengers gaming experience, an epic action-adventure that combines cinematic storytelling with continuous single-player and cooperative gameplay. Moderated by Andrea Renee, assemble in teams up to 4 players, master extraordinary abilities, customize your heroes to fit your playstyle, and combine powers to defend an ever-expanding world under constant threat. That is what that game is. By the way, that's like mostly promotional language. I don't know why they put moderated by Andrea Renee in the
what I was
middle.
gonna say,
Like,
yeah.
what a weird spot to put
Yeah.
that. Moderated by Andrea, unite with 4 players. Like, wait, what?
Just commentary from Renee the whole time.
Strange copy. Yeah. If she's in the game, man. So we're about to see this game. There's been rumors it's going to be a little games as a service-y. I'm still getting vibes of games as a service from reading that description of it.
Getting those Destiny vibes.
My first question to the panel is:
Anthem vibe.
is our hero going to be an Avenger, or is it going to be some character we create?
I would guess create.
That is
honestly.
also what I would guess.
Because there's just not enough heroes to go around if this is a huge online multiplayer game.
I don't know.
If there's any-
has 4 classes, man.
But if there's any kind...
3?
If there's any kind of like hub world even, there's just going to be like 10 Captain Americas running around. Like it's lame. It's lame.
That's the multiverse,
It's
man.
super lame.
What?
That's the game, baby.
So Jones, you say it's going to be multiple.
They
Iron
showed
Mans,
a teaser
multiple
of
Captain
Hulk, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man and said reassemble. But they're not going to show those, iconic images and say reassemble a bunch of strangers. Like, you're going to be playing as the Avengers. Like, I would be very serious.
You can play with, they could be like part of your party.
So like DC
Mission
superheroes,
givers.
right? That's an MMO.
Yeah.
And like you couldn't be in the characters, but they showed up
Correct.
all the time.
Right.
Correct.
It could be that, Jones.
Yeah. DC Universe.
Yeah.
There's DC Universe and X-Men Destiny. Those are the only superhero games I have ever played out of the hundreds and hundreds of superhero games made where you don't play as the heroes.
Yeah. I think the difference here is like this is a loot game, right?
Right.
We're going to be collecting loot constantly. We're going to be upgrading and having skill trees. And so it is, I think, hard to apply that to strictly like, okay, put all this stuff on Captain America, but it's still my dream. I'd still rather be Captain America than my own weird little dorky new guy.
I could see the characters themselves also being the thing. Like Vision's just real hard to get. You got to get the coins to buy them or get some other thing.
If you want to play as Vision, you're out of my party. No Vision, please.
Vision's cool.
Actually, I read a whole Vision like comic series where he had a family. It was really good. Still don't want him in my game. It's just OP, man. It's just got like too much going on.
So who else is not allowed in your party?
Okay, Vision's not allowed. If you want to be like a new Avenger, you know, like the young Avenger. You want to be a young Avenger? No, like too cute. Sorry, like be qualified, please. If you want to be like a Shield person, no.
That's bait.
I'm
not taking that bait.
What do you mean?
So I can't be Nick Fury?
You cannot be Nick Fury, dude.
Are
Too
you
weak.
kidding?
Yes, we're on a serious mission. The world is under constant threat.
Do you know how many times Nick Fury saved the world? I don't want to hear
He's
this.
an organizer, man.
Not
He's
taking the bait.
Does this also apply to Ultimate Alliance?
probably.
So Black Widow, Hawkeye, they're out?
Hawkeye and Black Widow out.
You're done. You're done.
Let's end this
I don't
bit,
want
please.
you in my party.
Please.
You have your own party.
Okay,
End the bit.
it's not a bit.
Just stop talking.
It's a creed.
What do you imagine? I mean, so a third-person action-adventure game. What do you imagine it plays like? What are we playing in this game?
My biggest thing is if I'm Iron Man, let me fly. Don't let me hover. Let me take off. Let me fly far, far, far away from the rest of the group. I want it to be like EDF, where like that's just that kind of spread of enemies.
Dude,
you know?
if this new Avengers game was like EDF, like sign me the hell up.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh my god. Like you're just shooting hundreds of things and buildings are collapsing and it's beautiful chaos. Yes. But when when we do like games as service and loot,
Yeah.
I immediately one thing springs cooldowns. Just this is your hero, these are your cooldowns.
Here's your
Learn
super
your
move.
yep.
Learn your rotation.
Build your meter. Yep.
I mean, that's like Diablo still, right? Like you got cooldowns.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's universal practically.
Yep. Yeah, it is interesting to think of like how it works in third person as an action adventure game. Like I imagine like getting cover.
Combining powers.
There will be combining
Kyle,
powers.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked right now that you have not lost it because this sounds like it would de-hype the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Everything about this game right now.
I don't
You are
like-
bummed.
Normally, like I'm pretty turned off by a loot game.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
Multiplayer
the thing-
loot game?
That's the thing, though, is I'm not above it, right? Like I can enjoy Borderlands, I can enjoy Diablo 3.
When have you ever enjoyed those games?
It happened.
Time, Borderlands.
It's happened.
When?
Borderlands, dude. Before our time, yeah.
Before your time.
Before our time?
Before
Yeah.
our time.
Before he met us, he was like
Yeah.
this loot crazy bossman.
Yes.
What?
Borderlands 2 bossman, just like,
Really?
And that's the thing is like you'll be playing the slot machine. Like I know like it's just to me like loot games are manipulative straight up. Like it is just rolling dice and it's just like scratching the itch of like I love to gamble. Like to me that is what loot games are about.
I need
Feeling
to see
lucky.
this.
Yeah, I'll show you my character. It
Jones-
was 0.
Jones, you got me really hyped with talking about Iron Man because I just really hope they really embrace the idea of every hero having different powers. Like, can you imagine being Iron Man and being able to like fly, but nobody else really can, so you have to fly ahead and like scout it out?
Unless you're Vision, who can
And, like-
fly and like float through things.
It's
Thor
like-
for sure.
yeah, it just-
Thor will
it-
be Thor's very AOE.
Yeah, it just feels so hard to nail that identity is to give every character their own individual identity while also respecting the mechanics of the game. Like, sounds crazy. I don't know how this game is going to work.
And that's why you think
really,
we're making our own characters.
Yeah.
So that nobody's that powered up.
Yeah, and
My-
you work your way up to, you know?
My
I don't
dream
know.
is that it's more actiony, and takes something not necessarily maybe like completely copying Batman combat, but something I really like in Batman combat is where it's like, okay, you can do a cool finisher, but you have to build up a combo, and I would love that where there'd be some amount of skill, whether it be in dodging or getting consecutive hits or not getting hit or blocking at just the right time, just something to make it a little bit more reflexive and not like, all right, here we're pop your AoE. Like, not that is a bad experience. I think that it would be more predictable and less exciting. It would be more of a been there, done that.
Yeah.
For sure. Ben, I'm going to actually bounce it right back at you. Will we get out of Midgar at E E3?
Here's what I'm going to say,
Okay.
because I want this to be true.
Yeah.
Not because it is likely.
No. This is be responsible for our listeners who
Oh,
are
be
curious.
responsible?
Yes, they want to
Oh.
know if we're getting out of Midgar at E3.
I don't think we will. I want
Whoa.
to.
You really think that they're going to show another demo and we're still going to be in Midgar the whole time?
Tease,
Yeah.
dude. It's gonna tease that motorcycle.
So what I was
That's
going to
the ending
say
stinger, dude.
that I don't necessarily think is likely is they'll show this sick trailer all in Midgard. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. We get a date,
Okay.
and then post the date,
yeah.
we get the tease.
Sure. I'm thinking like
on the motorcycle.
post-release date might
Buster
be like,
Sword.
I'm going to say a summon. You see Bahamut. Just
You know, like Bahamut classically
Yes,
does. that was 101.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lifting.
Yeah. Bahamut has strong...
Bahamut lifts. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm gonna think of you going, bro. I think they show the summon in the trailer.
Okay,
I do.
okay. Yeah. We have not yet seen summons. We haven't seen Tifa. We haven't seen most of the party members. There's so much we haven't seen of that game.
I just have it in my brain based on what they've shown, what they've talked about, and they're committing to this will be split up into parts. That the number of places we go in that first part will be very limited.
Sure. Michael Huber,
Yes, sir.
can they still impress people with this game? Can Final Fantasy VII Remake survive our modern era of cynicism?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
How?
Because last time we saw it, it looked beautiful. And to see that improvement from when we saw it previously was really awesome. And I think Midgar, like you were saying, Ben, they're keeping it close to the chest because I think Midgar is going to be huge. It's going to be
Yes.
expansive.
Yes.
Like, this is a city that we are going to get to explore. I'm getting Yakuza vibes, but like times 5.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling like in a lot of the reviews, it'll be like, oh man, it's kind of weird that you don't go all these places, but man, Midgar is crazy.
Yeah,
I think there'll be a lot of, but what is there is really impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like back alleys, everything. Sewers, buildings. It's going
Well
to be
said,
huge.
Okay. Shops.
Shops, dude.
Shops.
Let me go on some shops.
Mini games.
I think there are some things that will melt cynicism, and I think just seeing that opening in Final Fantasy VII, like it came from a time when we didn't have that cynicism, and it will fill us with hope again.
So Ben, look to the man to your right. Look at that man. He hates Final Fantasy VII with a fiery passion. What is it gonna take to get this guy to be interested in Final Fantasy VII at E3 this year?
Coleman.
Oh, your camping gear.
No, I mean it. Like what? Like there are many Joneses out there, right? There are many people who like, okay, Final Fantasy, like okay, like it looks exactly how I thought it would. I'm not that into it. How do we get Jones to be interested? What do they show? What do they demo? Do you have an answer, Jones?
I'll tell you. Yeah, actually,
me.
something that would change my idea of. Because what I'm not a humongous fan of is Final Fantasy VII. What I am a huge fan of is marketing campaigns. So if we
I gotta clip that, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I gotta clip that.
That was the worst thing I've ever heard.
I've
you
ever
say.
heard, ever.
Brand manager at maximum.
Holy shit.
But,
Okay,
think,
all right, all
but
right.
think about
Give it to
me.
me, yeah,
But think
yeah.
about this. This makes sense. Trust me.
I trust
Think
you.
about me not necessarily being into Final Fantasy VII and not really feeling that remake is a thing. You know, this is going to be a fun project that they're working on. We'll get updates whenever they are ready for it, and then it'll happen sometime in the future. If they drop a date, okay, now I can actually think about bringing this game into my life. Now I can think
Okay.
about, oh yeah, what am I doing in December? What am I doing in Q2 2020? What other games are coming out? Like, I might make time for this. Whereas like right now, I'm not even gonna like make the effort to begin to get excited about it when they go, oh, we gotta delay it 5 more years, we gotta back out. It's just like, okay, if I
gotta say
if I
that's
already
fair.
wasn't interested, why am I gonna like force myself to?
Yeah.
When it's it's still such an unknown.
I think Final Fantasy is synonymous with just taking years and years right now. If we hear of the words Final Fantasy 16, you're right, Jones. I'm checked out because I know that is 5 years at least away because that is the way that it's been going.
I think the other thing to kind of answer your question is it sort of feels like, and maybe it won't be successful, but Final Fantasy VII Remake is having its cake and eating it too, because it will have all of the scenes that we love and can't wait to see with this new look. But it's going to play completely different. It could be taken as a completely different game. This is not just Final Fantasy VII again.
Yeah.
And so if you don't like it, I don't think you can assume rightfully that you won't like this. No. It's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be so different that I could totally see people who didn't like Final Fantasy VII or don't like Final Fantasy VII very much liking Final Fantasy VII Remake.
But Ben, I think like it's even like a character basis. Like I want Jones to care about Cloud, so I want them to have a character moment where Cloud is an appealing character to Jones. And I don't think we've seen that yet. You know, he's just like a flower. You know what I mean? Like Jones, there's nothing for Jones to get attached to with that character. But if you don't know Cloud already, there's no reason to like him.
Yeah, but I think Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's what I'm saying, is in Final Fantasy VII, those are not super expressive character models by today's standards. A lot of that was going based on the dialogue and the music accompanying it and the pre-rendered backgrounds that it was using. Those scenes, like, you're going to get so much more emotion out of Cloud. You're going to get an entirely new delivery out of Cloud. And so that's what I mean. Like, maybe you don't like Cloud or think he's corny or something, whatever reason you have, but if you see him in these scenes and see him, you know, lose something or gain strength or whatever it is, the new expression, the new model of that may endear you to him in a whole new way. I think it is totally possible.
I think they got to show it.
Brandon could like that.
I never finished Final Fantasy VII, but I've seen Advent Children like 40 times. I love that movie. Yeah, Advent Children's great.
I can't peg you down, Jones. I what?
It's an exciting movie. It's probably the retro as well, because I just haven't played 7, but I've researched Crisis Core. I played Dirge of Cerberus. So, there's a lot of this surrounding 7 that I am familiar with.
Cool.
Do you guys like when people drag weapons as they're riding a motorcycle?
No.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dragging weapons is fun.
You're gonna ruin it. You're gonna drop it. There's just no reason to do both of
What
those
about
things.
Akira when he has the pipe?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Are we gonna move on from Square Enix?
We are. No, not from Square Enix. There's plenty more to talk about. We're moving on from Final Fantasy VII.
I gotta make one more point about Avengers before we just get too far.
Please, yeah.
I just
what?
didn't get to wrap up because there's just a lot of speculation, and there's no speculation about this game. I'm
About
very
7.
very confident about this Avengers game, exactly what this Avengers game is going to be. You are not.
I asked what it's gonna be.
And I said it wasn't going to be, because the big question was, you're going to create your own characters. There's no way you're creating your own characters.
Okay.
You're going to be playing as the Avengers. It's going to be like Monster Hunter. There's going to be a central, that little canyon area with all the Endor in a canyon, where you go back to regroup and, craft stuff and team up and stuff like that. That's going to be the Helicarrier or Avengers HQ, whatever that looks like. Strongly influenced by the movies. You're basically going to be replaying all those movies. But it's going to look like the movie, but not. All of the designs are going to kind of be this weird, it's going to kind of look like Paul Bettany, but not. So that
Stop talking about Vision,
movie
please.
fans are stoked, but it's not quite. Again, they don't have to worry about likeness or anything. It's going to be kind of this weird middle road. They're going to take a cue from Monster Hunter in terms of how things queue up. So you're going to queue up with your teams, and then you're going to leave. There's going to be the animation, Destiny style of you flying to that place, then it's going to load that mission. You do that mission, you get the loot, then you go back, and they're going to take a cue from Mortal Kombat in terms of how you can add on stuff to your character. So I'm going to get that vintage Captain America outfit is so tough to get, but it's really cool because you get that one little stat boost or some other extra thing.
And it's got slots.
Yeah,
Everything has slots.
It is going to be the Ultimate Alliance, meaning Ultimate Alliance is the one that's going to have 80 characters. This is not going to have a lot, because they want to make Hulk very different from Hawkeye, very different from Thor, very different from Scarlet Witch, and so the game's going to look a lot better. It's going to be very next gen focused, and the gameplay style is going to be very different. Whereas Ultimate Alliance is kind of the opposite of that. There's not a ton of variety in terms of really how much you can shake up the gameplay with different characters. Especially when it's just Ultimate Alliance gets going, you're I can't even see where my character went anymore. But the bonus is you get a lot more characters to mess around with.
It's E3 time.
Okay.
All right,
I'm ready for a bet.
All right.
I'm ready to come out of retirement.
Because look how certain he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jones, if you're wrong,
Reading from a press release.
if you're wrong,
Yeah.
you have to stream
Okay.
Comrades with me.
Is that the old tactical?
Final Fantasy 15 Comrades.
It's the multiplayer mode of Final Fantasy 15.
If you are wrong, we
That's
are
a solid
streaming
Square Enix bet.
Comrades.
How long?
Just a 2-hour stream.
3.
3 hours.
3
stream.
hours?
Yeah.
3 hours.
Jones, what would Huber have to stream?
Give me time. I don't want to take away time from this. Let's move on to the next Square Enix game you wanted to mention.
Jones,
and I will come back.
You
with that.
kept comparing it to Monster Hunter, and something that I really want to see happen, just because now that you've kind of lodged it in my brain, is I want, before you go out on a mission with the Avengers, you all sit down for a meal. Shawarma, bro.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yes.
Ben, that means something to me, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully the people will
just
move
like,
around.
Yeah.
So like Fury will be on the helicarrier, but like sometimes he'll be in a different spot, or you'll overhear fun conversations and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
You know, classic
Camaraderie,
MMO stuff
dude.
that'll update during holidays, and especially when Black Panther 2 comes out.
It's gonna be so cool on
They'll be
Halloween.
The confidence in which you had made, like, said all those things very definitively. Like, I'm convinced.
Like, it's fact.
Yeah.
It's just something he wants that bad. I do. Let's get through the rest of Square Enix stuff real quick. But there's a new game called Outriders that they're teasing with some sci-fi.
Outriders.
Yeah. With a sci-fi angle.
Is this People Can Fly?
We think it is. Not confirmed, but a while ago, Square Enix said People Can Fly are making a game for us.
Cool.
A couple years
I'm
later,
very
here
interested
we
in
are
what
with this
People
game
Can
called...
Fly is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. Not much to speculate on that, but yeah, People Can Fly boot game.
Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm, thank you.
Boot game. Nice.
Excellent.
Really good boots.
Square Enix is going to be publishing Dying Light 2, so we're going to see Dying Light 2 in their
Yeah.
in their press conference.
You know, I'm not very big on Dying Light 1, but I am weirdly excited for Dying Light 2.
Did you play it when it came out or the remaster?
I've
difference.
like picked at it at multiple points in its life.
Nice.
But,
Are you a Chris Avellone fan?
Yeah, I like things Chris Avellone. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a story designer for the game.
I just liked the trailers that they done. I thought they were interesting. That's really where I think my excitement is coming from more than anything else.
Isn't it weird when you don't like a type of game, but they're like, I think of Dead Island, which I don't really like, but I love Dying Light, and they're like so similar. But just like I love Dying Light and Dead Island, I just can't get into.
Played a lot of Dead Island 1.
Dead Island's like a lot of smacking.
There's a lot of smacking in
a lot of
Dying Light.
Yeah.
A lot of smacking.
Okay. All right.
Is this a smacking game? yeah. You want to play a smacking game with me?
No smacking games in my house. Babylon's Fall was announced last year. That is another Platinum collaboration with Square Enix. I wonder if we'll see it.
Yeah, this is one where it's kind of like the other one where it's like, what do we say? Like we need a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more. But still, hey, that could be super exciting. And then lastly, I just wrote down, like, last year we saw Quiet Man for the first time at E3. I wonder if there's like a smaller game, a Life is Strange caliber game that Square Enix wants to...
Mirror.
Is that Square Enix, dude?
Pretty sure they're publishing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, like that kind of scale. That's like that... What?
I think anything that we do see that is of that scale, the existence of the Quiet Man makes it more exciting.
Oh, okay. Because of the risk, the danger, the roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Quiet Man was a joy in its own way, and so now I think we're kind of looking for the next Quiet Man.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Kind of.
Man, that game is miserable still.
Yeah.
Last thing I wrote down, Crystal Chronicles, which you haven't seen for a long time. Was that like I think it was State of Play? Was that the first time we saw that? I can't remember. It was
I
like
think it was before that.
maybe. Yeah, I can't even remember the last time they showed Crystal Chronicles, but it's like, hey, cool, and then just. So I wonder if that's like a cool E3 kind of thing.
I thought it was a Nintendo Direct, but I could be wrong on that.
I remember seeing it in a non-Nintendo event because Damiani saw it and said, "Oh, that's going to be on Switch too," excitedly, because we were not watching a Switch event.
Now, aside from that, I don't know what else there is to say about Crystal Chronicles.
Because it's not that exciting, right? I wrote it down. It's fun. Do y'all hear that? Oh, it sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of June. Elfanis. Uniqlo. Uniqlo is a Japanese fashion brand aiming to change the world through the power of clothing. With a focus on high quality and innovative textiles, Uniqlo is redefining everyday clothing by increasing the functionality of your wardrobe at an affordable price. They call it Lifewear Made for All. Visit uniqlo.com/EasyA to check out their collections, including new and upcoming graphic t-shirt collaborations with Nintendo, Star Wars, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, and many more. That's uniqlo.com/EasyA. Fangamer. makers of officially licensed merchandise for games like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, Undertale, Katamari Damacy, and Persona 5. Not to mention Easy Allies t-shirts. Their newest products include the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition for Switch, PS4, and PC, a Prince and Katamari magnetic plush, and a Sans hoodie from Undertale. Check out their store at fangamer.com. Our gifted sponsor this month is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Lynn Aslin, a software engineer searching for opportunities to learn and grow. He has over a year of industry experience programming in C++, C#, and Python. As a graduate of the University of Connecticut's Master Program for Computer Science and Engineering, Lynn has explored the fields of cloud computing, computational geometry, and more. If you're looking for an ally to join your team, visit his website, lynnaslin.com, for his resume, sample works, and contact details. Again, that's LYNNASSELIN.com. You can also find him streaming Nier Automata at twitch.tv/shoutout to Yoko Taro. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. Hogue Law, business law firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least that Good Business Lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. This week in Virtual Legality, Hogue discusses the ethics of having influencers host E3 publisher presentations, Iron Maiden's trademark infringement lawsuit against 3D Realms, and a new episode of Two Hogues Are Better Than One. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. And our mega sponsor, Heroic Replicas. The fine folks at Heroic Replicas design and fabricate true-to-form, high-quality replicas and props. From legendary gear to keepsakes or all-metal creations, Heroic Replicas can make something special for you. Is there something you've always wanted to see brought to life? Heroic Replicas will work with you to make it happen. They are accepting commissions for late 2019 and early 2020. You can view their portfolio or drop them a line by visiting their website at heroicreplicas.com. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Okay, so it looks like the Baldur's Gate 3 attached to Stadia event. Looks like that came from Liam Robertson. Also, while I was trying to find that, check out this thread on Reset Era. Rocksteady will not be at E3? From co-founder Sefton Hill on Twitter?
That's a rough way to kill a man, Kyle.
What?
What's this now?
That was the hardest lock. Rocksteady had to be at E3.
They did?
They did, Jones.
Look, man. I know this is the anti-Huber. Huber, I know. I know because I know you, man, because we've been together working for so long. I feel your pain. But you have to understand, this developer has said nothing.
True. At least they're not
so
teasing us.
radio
Yeah,
silence, man.
Fair enough.
They are deep in the cave in the Himalayas. Sherpas are bringing them their food. Like they're not showing up. Grand Theft Auto 6. It's like, stop asking questions. It'll happen when it happens.
So this is from Sefton Hill. Hi all, a number of you have asked, so we wanted to let you all know up front that Rocksteady Games won't be showing at E3 this year. We'll be watching as fans, but remaining in London, hard at work on our next big project. Enjoy the show.
All right, WB Montreal.
Really,
all my chips in
Really
WB
great
Montreal.
to put it out there, though.
Yeah.
You know, to say stuff like that.
He did the same for Game Awards, I think, as well. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really good about that.
You know what?
I love
honestly,
that stuff.
That is
Thank
a good
you.
thing to do. That's a good thing to
Now
do.
I'm not going to be waiting the entire E3, waiting, and then like,
Well,
now
it
I'm
would just
prepared.
be the Xbox press conference, right? That'd be the only thing you wait through.
He's gonna remember before and then remember they're not.
It's officially a next gen title.
We
now.
haven't said anything about. Oh wait, no, they said they weren't gonna be there. Like, yeah, Huber, did you forget?
me,
he's gonna be sad, and we're all gonna feel bad.
Does this not confirm that it's next gen though? Like
Sure. Oh yeah.
It's-
Oh
it's
yeah.
a
Yeah.
next-gen
Yeah.
game.
Launch title,
sure.
baby.
Yeah.
Get in on that.
Which again, oh boy.
Yeah. And good. WB Montreal can show their Court of Owls game, and
yeah,
it'll all be good.
the one that like keeps getting canceled and reset. Yeah,
Suicide Squad.
it's got to work sometime.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nintendo, which will be having a Nintendo Direct Tuesday morning. I realized as I was preparing for this, Nintendo has a lot of games coming out this year.
They do.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
It's been a rough first half of the year for the Switch, I would say. But then there's too many games for the next 6 months.
I want to throw myself under the bus right now.
Please.
And just claim if you are an Easy Allies fan and you peruse our podcast, you may have noticed that the last episode of Friend Code does not. Frame Code, see what I did there? The last episode of Friend Code does not sound good. The audio was not recorded. 100% Jones Man's fault. 100% me.
The Jones Man.
That is my favorite episode of Friend Code I've ever recorded.
Oh.
And man, he kept throwing out games. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
We kept going and going and go. Just there's so many possible things to be coming to that system.
Which one excites you the most?
I mean, Animal Crossing is my number one. I just wonder if we just did the same Square Enix thing where, I was like, Animal Crossing, and Ben's like, Fire Emblem. We're both like, yeah. Nintendo, Is that
Yeah.
it? Is that number one?
Well, I really want Animal Crossing. I think in terms of excitement, it's hard because I think I might ultimately I'll probably enjoy Fire Emblem more, but it's in that weird E3 spot. It's like Mario Maker 2, where like I think Mario Maker 2 looks fantastic, but it's also coming out so soon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for E3 excitement, there needs to be that little bit of a wait. And with Fire Emblem coming out next month, it's just like, cool, you're showing me all this stuff, but I'm gonna get my hands on it so soon.
Next month?
July. Fire Emblem is July.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is how crazy this year is.
Yeah.
That's
Fire
a July
Fire
game?
Emblem's July. It's right here. It's coming out.
It can't even be disappointing in July. It's like, what did you want? It's a July game. You know what I mean?
No.
No.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. what you
November,
mean.
October games, those are the games that should be great. Those are your tent
This is
poles.
nonsense.
Those
Get
are
out of here.
holding
This-
up this tent.
no.
Dude,
this
Ari
is
2 came out in
nonsense.
January.
This is nonsense. This is nonsense.
But if it was bad, I wouldn't hold against it.
Okay.
It's like, you're a January game. You're okay.
You don't hold it or not hold it against a game based on the month it comes out in.
If you're a tent pole, you better hold that tent up.
I would love for you to review games and be like, listen, this game sucks, but it came out in July, 9.5. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Video game horoscopes.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Animal Crossing is an interesting spot because we haven't seen anything, but we know, and I think it's just like a bunch of water right behind this gate, and they're gonna unleash that gate. Where
Yeah.
we've seen a pretty substantial amount of Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Animal Crossing, I wonder. They haven't made a bad one. I wonder if there's been a few games in between that aren't Animal Crossing games. Animal Crossing, I think, is more popular now than ever in its life. I hope that this game is simple. Is what I'm saying.
What?
Will
Expand
Animal
upon
Crossing
this.
will be simple? Will it not have too many systems in play?
Back
Will-
to the basics, I think, is what I hope you
Yes.
mean.
Yeah, yes.
In what ways do you think it would be too much? Like, what directions would they go in?
I guess in terms of interactivity, in terms of just other players just popping in all the time, in terms of the way that you get some things in the game is tricky. I hope they don't go wild with just like, oh, well, you're going to need to get this thing to get a bell, but to get that thing, you got to do that thing, and that only works at Tuesdays at 3 p.m. And to talk to that little cat, you got to hope that she arrives in your town. You got to hope that she has the buttons that she's looking for. If she doesn't have the buttons, you got to go talk to the turtle. You ride over to his little island, and on the turtle's island, you'll find some seeds. Take those seeds, plant them. 3 months later, you're going to get exactly the kind of tree you need. It's like, whoa, come on, game.
I can't wait, Ben. Yeah, it's gonna be 8:45 in the morning. I'm gonna be in bed on my Switch on that turtle going to the island. Like,
Yeah. You're not even caring. Yeah, it's like on the path, man. Yeah.
I think it will be simple.
Okay.
I really do.
That's what I want from it. I want it
Yeah,
chilled
well,
out, you know?
I use the term back to basics because to me that's what they did with Odyssey. That's what they did with Breath of the Wild. That's
Yeah.
what they've done with so many. That's what I hope they do with Prime. Like even having not played Prime 1, 2, or 3. Like I just hope they look at all of their franchises being like, let's just make everybody really happy. You
Yeah.
know, let's just do not the safe bet, but let's try to look at what really makes this series great and focus on all of those elements because the Switch is just the most perfect console in the history of Nintendo for this franchise. Like The second they announced the Switch, I was like, oh, it's the Animal Crossing machine.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
So I
Because
wanna-
it's going to give me both of the best versions of Animal Crossing that I've played, the 3DS and the original GameCube. It's going to be at the same time. Ugh.
I want to expand on that. I do think there are a good number of features that people want to see, and I think people do have hopes and expectations for Animal Crossing. But I also get the sense that there's also just some sort of strong desire to have Animal Crossing on Switch. Not necessarily like it needs to be a completely transformative experience.
I think it's unique in that way.
Right.
It could be the same and everyone would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It
I would lose a lot of respect, but
It could be the same
I
game.
don't know if it could
Yeah.
be exactly the same, but
Yeah.
I do think in some broad sense that there is just a vibe that is being chased after. Yeah.
Michael Huber. What is Nintendo going to show to you that gets you steamy?
Mario Odyssey 2.
That's it, man? Not even one of the games that they've already announced? It got to be Odyssey 2 to get you pumped?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already pumped. That would get me steamy.
Okay, I
I'd be
did ask
ready
for
to go
steamy. I
into.
asked for steamy,
Yeah,
yes.
like it's getting steamy in here. Yeah, Odyssey.
I wonder though, like business-wise, right? Nintendo games are selling best on the Switch. There's just like they're top 10 on their own console, right? Odyssey's like the best-selling Mario game of all time. Breath of the Wild, best-selling Zelda game of all time. Do you do direct sequels immediately? Do you do an Odyssey 2 today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they did it with Galaxy.
They did it with Galaxy.
You know, I think there's just so much more to Odyssey. Like, there's more to do. Like, I beat that game so hard. You know, got a ton of extra stars. Didn't 100% it, but got so many. And when I was done, I still felt like there was more to do. You know, it feels unfinished.
More things to throw your hat on.
Yeah, yeah. Odyssey style.
I really think Astral Chain will get y'all steamy and you just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, cool. Like, we always asking for a new IP, and here's Platinum making a Nintendo exclusive IP, where it's like crazy sci-fi police soldiers with huge robot dogs. And Ben,
You have this living, transforming weapon that you're going into combat with, strategizing with. Like, it could just be total insanity, and you're gonna love it because you know it's gonna feel good.
I know. I don't think it has a lot of hype leading into E3. I think it's definitely low key.
I think that's the thing. That's kind of the curse of this stuff, where, like, just as a collective, I don't know, culture. I think we constantly crave new things, but don't know what those new things are, and so we ask for sequels.
Yeah.
But I really do think I see it. I see a spark in Astral Chain.
Cool.
I think it is going to do well.
It's exciting. Yeah. I think kind of like we were talking about with I forget the game that needed a story trailer. Where it's like, oh, I get this game now. I totally understand. What was that? The game that needed a story trailer. We just talked about it earlier this podcast. Yeah, who cares?
Thinking about, dude, there's so many things.
I know exactly, dude. I'm a little
Oh, were you
overwhelmed.
talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake? Like getting Jones in? Story trailer?
No.
It was
that not it?
before
There was the
that
villain.
even.
There was the villain that we need to see.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Eh.
Are you saying we
I'm
need
gonna
a
know what
story
it is later
trailer?
because I'm gonna be cutting this podcast.
Are you
Yeah.
saying we need a story trailer for Astral Chain?
Yes.
I can see that going both ways. I could see a story trailer coming out and maybe hooking you in a little bit more, or a story trailer coming out and confusing you way more than you were before.
Yeah, that's it. I think we
Yeah.
just need a clear premise that just kind of rests on it for a second.
Sure.
Like, we need to know who those two characters are in the box, basically.
Like, think about even like Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't have the knowledge with Bayonetta that you did, I do think it's a hard game to do a story trailer for. If you really like go and map out that story and what happens.
But you emphasize that character.
Sure, yes.
I think
And
you
that
don't do just
totally
raw
can.
gameplay for Bayonetta. You do at least let the camera rest on her, so we'll at least like know who our character is.
Gotcha.
And I want
That makes a
from
lot of
Astral
sense.
Chain. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Luigi's Mansion 3. is
Yes.
maybe the game I'm most pumped on. for
Yes,
this year.
Kyle. That's
I
a
love
good
Luigi's
stand to
Mansion.
take.
Yes.
Yes. Good on you.
It's still not been confirmed that Next Level is working on it. I'm just crossing my fingers that they are. But I mean, hey, man, a new Luigi's Mansion game. Hopefully this year. Hopefully like in the spooky
In a
time of the year.
hotel.
Halloween.
Yeah, in a
You're
hotel.
gonna be hunting
Halloween
ghosts.
Yeah.
game.
Got a whole new backpack.
It's gonna feel good. It's
Yeah.
gonna feel so good.
And I think for that kind of game, you don't have to show too much.
What's your Doc Brown Spider Monster for Luigi's Mansion 3?
Okay, let me think. Okay, so It's it's like a scary ghost, dude. Just like furry with like bones sticking out, and it like sucks
is really
Luigi's bones out through its body, and like Luigi's lifeless body is there. And then Professor Egad walks up, is like, oh, looks like I got some work to do.
Awesome.
That would be it. Just like some extremely violent thing, dude. That'd be what I want.
What if like you somehow kill Bowser, and then it's like Bowser's ghost, and he's like just
This is
this
something.
demonic ghost.
Dude,
is
the start
something.
of the NCU, the
Yeah.
death of Bowser.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something, man. I'd be tweeting about
Dude,
that.
I thought it was great. Odyssey 2 Spider Monster. It'd be cool if it was like the Odyssey 2 trailer was very Bowser focused. Mm-hmm. So like it starts and you're like in his castle and you see like he's getting the legions together. Like you even see some enemies from like old school Mario games that haven't been in 3D yet, like some old enemies. It's like, wow, he's really going far and wide to amass his army. And he like tells you like the time has come, and he like says it to one other soldier. They're like, all right, and so they're all like marching out. And then right at the end of the teaser, it zooms in on Bowser, and he's got the hat. He's like, ah.
He's got Cappy.
And then you're like, oh, it's not Bowser. It's actually Mario. It's actually like Mario's took over, and now he's like manipulating all of like Bowser's force, like behind enemy lines. Mario game,
Dude.
where like most levels are like in Bowser themed areas, but you like have to be sneaky about like they have to know you're a bad guy the whole time. Otherwise,
Blown away.
they find
Blown
out you're
away.
good. Like everyone will freak out.
So basically, the premise is we're going to destroy Bowser's armies.
Yeah, from
by,
the inside.
within.
by leading them to doom.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to send these units over here where they will die, but I have to do it a little inconspicuously so nobody knows that I'm doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
But in order to do it, Mario had to go
Yeah.
deep undercover. So Luigi, everyone thinks you're gone. They're like,
Yes.
oh no, Mario's gone. We haven't seen him for months.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm betraying my friends, but I have to do it.
You have to kill a toad. you have to
That's how you
prove
get in,
to
yeah.
prove it.
Yep.
You have to kill a toad.
But to get access to the toad, you gotta scan an amiibo first. What a high concept thing! Like
Yeah.
people see Mario Odyssey 2 and they're like, I can't wait to go get more moons. I wonder what the new levels are gonna be. And Jones is like, you are going behind enemy lines.
No,
You asked for
you're
Dr.
gonna
on
have
Spider
to
Monster.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have to question where your allegiances lie. It's about time.
Pokemon, I expect not to be too big of a focus because that's another pre-E3
Yeah.
reveal that is about to happen this week. And so, yeah, they'll probably have a demo. I don't expect to be a part of their presentation necessarily too heavy.
What's your attitude walking up to that Nintendo demo at E3, which you are likely to do?
I'm not likely to because I won't be there. But
You're not gonna make it happen.
No, man, I got to announce these panels.
If you were to do so.
If you, it would be, it would be to stop it. From that, so I would be. I don't know, man. Like when it was X and Y, and I had the opportunity to walk up and play it, I was like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it's a game I'm going to play months away, it's like I'm good. Gotcha. RPGs just kind of don't work at E3.
Sure.
It's just weird. Especially like with Pokemon, I want to like that Pokemon. If I'm catching it, is mine now. I'm going to transfer it to Pokemon Home.
You don't want any temp Pokemon.
I don't want to temp Pokemon.
Temp gear.
My least favorite thing is like when a battery dies and I lost a Pokemon I caught because that Pokemon is dead forever.
So that happens, right? Like, let's
Yeah.
say your battery dies. Does that change your opinion on that Pokemon in future games? Do you have something against that Pokemon?
It's like replacing a dog. It just takes a while to love the new one.
but it does happen.
Eventually you do love the dog. Yeah.
It's kind of dark.
Man, life's dark, bro. Life is dark.
Eventually, you do love the new dog.
Ultimate Alliance 3, maybe we'll get another trailer. I don't think they have much left to reveal after all the Game Informer stuff.
Yeah, I think all the characters are shown. They said
Oh, God, I hope not.
They said over 30.
Why?
and
What'd you
there-
want left, Jones?
And there's like
Cyclops, my.
oh, there's no Cyclops
guy.
still.
they said over 30 characters, and they've
show
shown
the
like
they show the
33.
interior of the mansion, and he's in a picture. Like they have like a portrait of all the X-Men.
Oh,
like,
portrait.
Not playable, but he's in the lore, I guess. Still good to know.
I have to say, with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, I was talking to Brandon about it, and he's like, yeah, I watched the gameplay trailer, and I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, well, it can't be that bad. And then I watched it, and I was like, there's no point in me watching. I cannot discern what is happening on screen.
Just when everybody's going, when all the abilities are going.
Yes,
you're like,
exactly.
I kind of have the same issue.
I love
Well,
it.
camera's a
no,
little
that actually
close.
made me more excited.
Why?
Because that's what I want it to be.
Chaos.
I don't want it to hold back. I just want to
I want to mash buttons.
Yes, I want to mash buttons. That's what that is for.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like when they have the outlines, they have a red outline, a yellow line, a blue, and a green, like to show, like, oh, remember, you're red.
Yeah.
To me, that's like it's covering up a pothole with a piece of paper. It's like, oh, you recognize you have a problem, but you're solving it the wrong way.
I think it's trying to be a pothole.
Yeah.
It wants you to fall.
Yeah. It wants to go nuts. It wants to just have too many things for you to see, I guess. But man, I don't know.
I bet the best way to play is like 2-player.
Yeah.
I bet co-op is really good. 4-player.
Sure.
And also, it's like good for like
much.
story. And it's good for like like when you're playing with one friend. It's like, hey, can I like spend some time on the
Give me a
skill tree?
segue, do this.
Yeah. Like, let me boost my stats. With 4 players, you are so annoyed.
Madness.
So are we gonna play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and like everybody's like ready to go on the mission and Kyle's like, just give me a sec.
Yes.
Me too.
It'll be great.
I'm with you.
It'll be-
Or like, guys, don't go to the next room yet. We haven't broken up all these barrels yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you though.
Wait, you're a barrel breaker?
That's one of the reasons I like Cyclops is he's got the range.
Yes.
So you can just stand in the middle of the room and pop, 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 pop,
That's gonna be a fun stream with Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys.
Link's Awakening. I wonder how they can represent Link's Awakening beyond that initial reveal trailer. They kind of like did it. You know what I mean? They did the job.
really short trailer though.
Yeah.
Really, really short.
I don't I have so much hype for that, and I don't know. Everything about it just seems lukewarm, and I don't know if it's something that people need to be reminded of how good Link's Awakening is because it's really good. I just don't get it. I love the look. That game is great. Where is the love? Where is the love?
Where is the love?
Yeah.
All right, so Ben, what I would say is, there's terrorists here living in the USA. The Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. Where's the love? So what I would say is, when Link's Awakening came out on Game Boy, that's the reason why sometimes I'm feeling under. It looked good when the Link's Awakening came out on Game Boy, and when it came out on Game Boy Color, it looked as good as possible. They're not trying to do that anymore. They're trying to like make it like, hey, wasn't that game cute? It's like it wasn't trying to be cute. It was trying to like visually communicate what a Zelda game would look like on a Game Boy on this hardware. And so that's the kind of remake I don't really love too much. Is like we want it to look exactly like it was, but like you're not. You're trying to make it look like it does today, as opposed to what it used to be. That's my apprehension.
Well-
It looks like they're trying to make it cute, like too cute.
Do you think they're trying to make it too cute? Kyle,
I do.
am?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be the one to. No, I. Do you think there's any possibility of handheld bias though?
What are you suggesting?
Well, I don't know. I wonder if I just feel like sometimes Link's Awakening isn't part of the conversation the way that some other games are.
I mean, it was last on my list for sure.
Despite its quality,
Yeah.
just because I don't know if by and large people are as familiar with or as endeared to
I think
the handheld ones.
I think one of the main hooks of it is the story, and if you don't know the story, you're not as attached clearly, especially coming off of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So if you're not attached to the story and you just played Breath of the Wild, I could see it being underwhelming to most.
Sure.
What about voice acting?
Oh no! No!
Well, if you're trying to sell the story,
Let's make it
it'd
something
be interesting. Isn't there a female lead, like a friend that you make? You know, like
Marin, I think is her name.
it'd be interesting for her to narrate the E3 trailer. For you like to see the level, and then all of a sudden, and she's
That's
like,
something, Jones. That's something.
and it's her. You know,
Yeah.
it's lines that were from the game. Even maybe if it's not in the game, like you know,
Yeah.
just a way to like, oh, now I have a friend. Now I have an emotional attachment to it. Aside from like, aren't puzzles great?
Yeah.
Don't you pick up a bunch of different weapons in these games?
Because
You know,
actually,
like-
the Breath of the Wild trailer that started with like Link, wake up, you hear Zelda speak, that actually had an impact. That was like, oh, cool, voice acting. I hear you.
yeah.
I think this game is going to creep up on the excitement factor for more people. I think it's got a slow burn ahead of it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for the record, Link's Awakening, like top 2 Zelda games for me. I love that game.
It's a very fantastic video.
I could see
Yeah.
a blowout. Again, that trailer's like a minute and 10 seconds. Like it's very, very quick.
Yeah.
So I could see, you know, them like, because you were like, what else is there to show? Like one more big blowout trailer, and then they're like, if we show you any more, it's the game.
That's
then
what
you're
I'm
really
feeling,
missing
yeah.
it. Then you're really spoiling a lot of these fun interactions and things you bump into.
I'd be careful.
Of the little I remember from people telling me about it.
I would be very careful.
Where is the
Everyone at home too is like, how would I, if I was sitting at the table, how would I insert some "Where's the Love" lyrics into this conversation? Like, I get it. I guess I want to end with new game announcements. So, like, Huber wants a new game announcement. He's not satisfied with what's on the table.
Satisfied with what's on the table.
Everything we talked about, nothing makes him steamy.
Link's Awakening makes me steamy, man.
That game makes you steamy?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that either.
It's a Zelda game.
Okay.
10 out of 10. Every Zelda and Mario is a 10.
No.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
Link's Awakening hits two birds with one stone for me because,
So you're saying
every 6 months, Amanda asks the same question: When's the next Zelda game coming
you're
out?
saying
And I'm like,
Triforce Heroes,
like, oh,
10
it's-
out of 10.
I'm talking main lines.
Main lines.
Main lines. Try
but
to
in this,
said
in this case, it's a
everyone!
new one and an old one at the same
Every
time.
main
so
Yeah.
line.
She gets to.
And Amanda will love this.
She's never played it. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
had an
will
interest,
totally
but
get
it's
it.
Like
but love
Hyrule
Phantom
Warriors.
Hourglass and-
No.
Hey, Hyrule Warriors is a fun
But
time.
that's on 10. Like, clearly I'm not referring to Hyrule Warriors
Yeah.
when I say Zelda.
Just
I can't argue.
where's the love?
Oh, stop this. We got to pull the brakes on that one. What did you think when I started? Like, I got the impression, Jones, that you did not get that those were lyrics when I was saying there's terrorists living here in
I
the
didn't
USA.
either.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't either. I was like, dude, Kyle's going for it. Okay. I was like, wow.
It's almost kind of like the general podcast attitude, Kyle, of just this like, well, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I know. You got to learn to live with me
a
at some
10
point.
second counter starts counting down of like, okay, let's see. I might have to yoink him off camera with this one.
I felt so bad. Like there was like a 10th anniversary of Where's the Love, and the Black Eyed Peas was like, we're recording a new version. It's more relevant now than ever. And it's like, but you're not. And like it just bombed. You know, it's like, it felt so bad.
Wow.
Felt bad. Sorry, Black Eyed Peas. Can't stay hot forever.
I miss Jurassic 5. Do you like Jurassic 5?
Yeah.
They're cool.
So before we move on from Nintendo, I do want to talk about new game announcements in a way that I think one's going to happen, but I cannot predict what it is. I think they're going to announce a new game for Switch, but I don't know what that is. Same with the panel.
I'm just gonna throw something at the wall here.
Okay.
Just spitballing.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a big name developer that people are really into and excited about that hasn't had a history of really working with Nintendo, and they're making something for Switch.
From Software?
Maybe.
Okay. Blue Point?
I don't know. Like I said, just throwing stuff at the wall.
Yeah, man, because I think that's probably the broader point. We have no idea, and like I feel like Nintendo has that danger. I feel like they have that element of like they could truly shock us within this hour presentation.
I'm ready to be shocked.
Yeah, me too. That's it though. That's it for the preview. Man,
I like Odyssey 2. I like that bet. I think
Really?
Odyssey 2 makes more sense than Zelda. Just from a it's probably ready standpoint. Because I think with Odyssey you can tease me with a couple of worlds, whereas like if you're gonna make a Breath of the Wild 2, even if it's not called that or linked to it at all, the world has to be ready. You have to have that shot of look at the world.
yeah.
Yeah, I expected there to be DLC for that game.
Yeah.
Like, add a couple more worlds. Like, again, it just felt like there was more
I
there.
kind of like the theory too. Like, so what I was hinting at earlier is I think just make more of the best-selling versions of more franchises, right? But hey, it's way cheaper to use an engine you already have.
3D Donkey Kong.
That's the dream, man.
Wait, like Donkey Kong 64?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's, again,
But,
like
like,
another.
better. But,
Yeah,
like-
3D Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Smashing through cubicles. Don't tell me about Ape Out. I know about Ape Out. Okay, so that's it. Our E3 podcast will be live next Monday night, but you'll still get it regular if you're subscribed to this podcast on iTunes or whatever you are subscribed through. What's the one that starts with an S? Everybody uses it.
Spotify.
Yes, thank you. Spotify. You know, I was thinking about my stupid brain, and like the way that it categorizes things is it just has cubbies with like what they sound like, and so like I just put Spotify in the folder and just let it go, hoping that I'll find it.
In
next
this
time I'm
very
searching.
podcast,
Yes.
you were able
Swami.
to, without any break or hesitation, immediately burst into lyrics from Where's the Love, but you couldn't get Spotify.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Oh man, It's now time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Crunchy this week.
Yeah.
Rufus, I dug it. If you ever want to make a remix, that was it, man. Boy, oh boy. We have some good ones. There's a couple of sweet ones. I want to do at least one sweet one. This is really cute. Okay. A few years ago, I decided to watch E3 live with my girlfriend of the time, who was not into games at all. It just happened to be 2016, the year Sony would feature God of War, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 7, Spider-Man, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Last Guardian. At the end of the conference, she looked at me and said, "That was amazing." Her favorite game shown was actually Call of Duty Infinite Warfare because she said the story looked cool. We spent the rest of the evening talking about all the conferences, and overall it was a really sweet and meaningful experience, especially given how nervous I was to share it with her. Do you guys have any stories, good or disastrous, of sharing E3 with the people in your lives? Love and respect. Max, his shame, Terman.
I can remember coming home after Shenmue 3 was announced, and Beth was like, all right, however much you put into the Kickstarter, I'll match it.
Whoa. Wait, tell me how you told her about Shenmue 3.
I texted her immediately.
Okay, so we had our reactions.
Yeah.
We go offline.
Yeah.
You take out your phone, text her.
Yeah, text her a
What?
picture of my crying face. Shenmue 3 just happened. It's real. And then, I got home and
And
she's...
Nemo wouldn't have cut it.
No.
You had to send her a photograph of your face.
Yeah.
So she knew how much that meant to you. And she said, I'll match it.
Yeah.
Without even knowing about, how much did she know about Kickstarter?
Not a lot.
Wow. Yeah. Cool.
Not a lot, even about Shenmue, really.
I'm afraid I have to ask the next detail.
How much?
How much?
150 each.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you have a follow-up question?
What do you get for that?
It was I think the toy capsules. You get some capsule replicas.
That's
some
happening
gotchas and
this
stuff.
year. Hey, not this summer, but it's still happening this year, man.
I know.
You're getting those gotchas.
Well, if it doesn't get delayed again.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
I like Huber. I like your realism there. It could still keep slipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
January. It could be a January game also. A couple more months.
It's a bummer though. It obviously disqualifies him from reviewing it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
so.
because he put in $300.
Right.
He's basically an investor at this point.
Right.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That Ben review will be really good though.
Probably very harsh and
Yeah.
recognize all of its obvious flaws. Yeah, I like that.
It'll just be Huber will ghostwrite it. My name will be attached, but it'll be
Ghostwriter,
Huber.
dude.
And you,
Yeah.
and you
I mean, the first paragraph, this is the culmination.
yeah.
Wait a minute. Not even trying.
So Abby is really a saint when it comes to this stuff. I swear every week I'm showing her trailers oh, hey, come sit down and watch this Pokemon thing with me. But there was one where it really backfired in
Ooh.
a hilarious
Here we
way.
go.
This is a while ago. This was a couple of years ago. And they were going to have this Dragon Quest press conference in Japan. And I knew that they were going to show a little bit of Dragon Quest 11, and it was late. I think it was late at night. It was a while ago, and I was like, "Oh, come watch this with me." And it was a Japanese press conference where it was just the driest, most bland, and it was it had Nico stuff flying across the screen, and just it was just this dry, boring thing, and you got almost no information. It wasn't like what we typically think of with press conferences.
Was it when they showed the Canyon City and the bridges that cross the canyon? They showed some gameplay.
No, they showed a town. I remember that, but it was very little, and it took a long time to get there. And I was just and she was such a trooper about it. But I was like, this is true love.
Yeah.
Why would you sit
Sitting
through
through that.
this? Yeah. So I just thought that was funny.
Jones, you got one of those moments?
I got one.
Okay.
So I'm in the area of the Jeff Keighley E3 All Access where we were doing roll-ins. So basically, the job that I had for 3 or 4 years was anytime some panelists would be like, well, the thing about Call of Duty, and you saw Call of Duty roll in, I was the one that yelled at people to get that ready and knew what clip
Because it had
to
particular
use.
code. Yeah, yeah.
And So part of that was when these press conferences would happen, we wouldn't know what they were going to show. So like on the fly, I had to be like, okay, these are big, and then check in with Hoffman and be like, we're going to want to come back with Destiny, right? Yeah, okay, all right. So I prioritized that. And we've gone through several of these press conferences. Now it's finally time for Nintendo. It's Tuesday morning, let's do Nintendo. And I'm like, okay, we're just about to start. I look over my shoulder, and there's this weirdo sitting behind me coming in to check out the Nintendo press conference. And I'm like, this guy. I'm like, yeah, that's that guy with the glasses that looks mopey all the time that works for GTTV. What's his name? Boss Man something. What's this guy? I'm like, this is really interesting. Why is he in there today, of all things? Why isn't he where he belongs, over with Hoffman and the GTTV crew?
Hold on, is this a bit or a true story? Tell us at this point.
Completely true story.
Okay, great.
And then the Nintendo press conference starts, and I realize, this guy's just a really big Nintendo fan. So this guy needs to be in the Nexus. This guy wants to be like behind. He did not get good enough seats for this, whatever room he was in. So he came over to our room to peek over our shoulders, and I was like, it's good to know this Kyle guy. And then something happened. They announced something, and I turned around at you like, whoa, and you were like, yeah, that's a big deal. And I was like, yeah. Honestly, I think that might have been the first words exchanged to us.
Link's Awakening on 3DS, actually.
Wow.
That was they opened it.
Worlds?
Yeah. I think that was Skyward Sword year, Jones. And I think they were like, they opened it up with some Zelda music and then said, hey, Link's Awakening on 3DS. And I was like, oh.
So as you can imagine, Kyle and I,
Yes.
as much as any one of us, any one of the relationships between two given allies, have a list of things that we know the other person enjoys. Berries, one of the new things on the top of that list. There's a lot of things that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And that was number one. Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'll write that down there. And I should have known that because I saw you, the first time I ever saw you was the Me on 3DS. I was like, who the hell's this guy?
I just have to say, Jones made a joke like, oh, Hubert can't review it because he contributed to the Kickstarter. That made me realize I also contributed to the Kickstarter. So we'll have to go further down the list.
Further down, Jones.
Yeah.
I gotta
ready for
say,
that Shenmue
I don't
Jones
like
review.
this stuff. It just like gets it a 6. Please. Facial animations, very poor. 6.0.
Hello.
Try again
What
next
gen
time.
is this?
Please open it up with
What gen is this?
While the characters are endearing, it makes you wonder, what generation are we really in?
Let's do a quickie. Let's do one more quickie before we end our final podcast before E3. Here we go. From Brian. Love and respect, hello allies. Shinji Mikami is coming to E3. Now I know Huber has Evil Within 3 on his mind, and we all know that Huber gets what Huber wants. However, Mikami was also the director and producer of the original Dino Crisis. So instead of Evil Within 3, do you think this could mean we're getting a Dino Crisis remake? Love and respect, Brian.
I'll be floored.
Dude, the Dino Crisis, there's been
Fever. Dino
there's
Crisis
been
fever.
hot pockets of
Yes.
Dino Crisis hype.
Yes.
And it has to be coming from a source.
Yeah.
It's just completely irrational.
Yes.
Because like
Completely.
because I go through the same thing every time somebody says the word Dino Crisis. I go, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. But maybe.
Yeah.
There's a way.
There's just some weird voice in the back of my head that's like, but maybe, of course. And that does. I don't know why. I don't know why that voice is so assured. But it does seem like a weird, dumb thing that would just come
We're
out
all
of nowhere.
smelling it, dude. We're smelling those dinos. We're smelling Regina. We smell them.
Yeah.
But it
Ark
could-
Survival Evolved.
it could
like,
easily
just
come back.
brought him back.
Did you?
Jurassic World's
Never
really
mind.
hot. It's time.
I just like Mikami is at Tango now, so I don't really see how that would work exactly. People have also like attached him to Resident Evil 8, like he's gonna return to Resident Evil.
He's a
and
Bethesda
work-
man now,
He wouldn't
He's
have
a
to call
Bethesda-
it Dino Crisis, would he? He'd just be like Prehistoric Panic.
Yeah, Prehistoric Panic.
So, like, I could easily see Capcom bringing Dino Crisis back. Easily. Could happen. I would bet on it.
But Shinji won't be involved.
But I don't know if Shinji would be involved with that.
Fair enough.
So.
Yeah.
That would be 3?
And
Did they make a 3 or
it'd be 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
3's
but
the
I think-
sci-fi one.
I think they would reboot it, honestly.
Yeah.
Or even remake it. I really think it's Evil Within 3. Because the timeline adds up. There was a 3-year...
Build this for me because I don't believe it. Okay.
3-year gap between 1 and 2.
All right.
There was DLC on 1, not on 2. There's been no real DLC. There's been like a
You're right.
first-person mode.
Yeah.
They added a harder difficulty.
No story stuff,
No
though.
big story stuff. So if it came out this year, that would be 2 years. So instead of 3, again, like I think sequels you can kind of pump out faster. Again, there was no DLC. He directed 1,
Yep.
but not 2,
Yep.
which means he could have been working on 3 on the side or something like that. You know? So
He could just be going to E3.
he could just be going to E3.
He could also just be going.
The poor man.
Yeah,
But I think it's a big deal if he goes. Like, he doesn't usually go unless there's a reason.
Because he doesn't want to leave the game.
Yeah.
hasn't
like Sefton
Mikami
Hill.
gone on record saying though that his interest within Tango is to kind of bring up
Yes.
new people?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's really his focus right now, rather than necessarily directing new things.
Yes.
I think his name still has value, though.
It does, yeah.
Like, if it's him presenting a new game, I think
Yeah.
it means something.
Like, he might not be director
Yeah.
on something. He could just be saying, like, this is what Tango is working on.
Right.
I would, Huber, this is hurtful. I would leave The Evil Within behind. I would work on a new game.
No.
I would.
No. Close it out.
There's a lot of baggage going on, dude. There's
Close
a
it
lot of things going on in that story that's just like, I don't want to deal with all those things in my new game. And I think a new person like walking in is just like, what? What is up? Why?
It could be a new game and maybe put it on the shelf for a while, come back to it in a few years.
Just put it on a shelf.
I could see that too. Brand new IP from Mikami.
Jones, you done multiple playthroughs of Evil Within games, I feel like.
Maybe.
That
I
New
don't
Game
remember.
Plus.
I don't remember.
It's got it.
Yeah. You do multiples of
I
Resident Evil.
definitely didn't with 2. I might have
Okay.
one. I might have played 1 twice.
There's just too much going on, I think. Okay.
What do you think, Ben? Mikami. What's he teasing?
I think I really like the Evil Within 1, and I like the Evil Within 2 as well, and I think it would be exciting if he did Evil Within 3. But when I think of Mikami and his career, the things that were the highest points for me are when he is like kind of unchained.
Unhinged.
Yeah, and he's really pushing in a new direction that he's kind of become fascinated with and believes in. And so I think I would be even more excited if it was a brand new thing. But I'll take whatever Mikami I can get.
Yeah.
I want to read one more, actually. Another sweet one. Not really a question, so we don't have to like discuss it too long. But you know, there's like E3 moods, and kind of like it. Okay. Hey, allies. I'm getting the vibe that not many people are feeling the hype for E3 this year. So let me do you a favor and put an end to that. 5 years ago, to this day, I tweeted to Kyle for his advice on how to get into E3. As someone who wasn't part of the industry, it had always been a dream of mine to attend. A long story short, I am proud to say that after many years of hustling, my podcast has earned press credentials at E3 2019.
Sick.
I can't wait to be the person that I looked up to as a kid, the industry insider playing the newest games and sharing the latest news to the next generation. I still get excited thinking about it even after all these years. I think it is the closest thing to magic that I've ever felt. If anyone out there can't find a reason to get hyped for E3, remember this. E3 is not just an expo for the industry to preview new games. It is also a platform where people from all over the world can come together to celebrate their mutual love of gaming. It is a showcase of how deeply our community is able to love and how that love has, for decades, been able to overcome any of our differences. I can't think of anything more hype than that. E3 2019 might be missing Sony, but it will sure as hell have me. Love and respect, John.
Love and respect.
Love that. John, perfect opportunity to plug your podcast.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is. No, I have no idea. Doesn't need us. You know, it's probably huge. Didn't want to embarrass you guys.
He didn't want to mention it, you know? He's like,
No, that's okay. You don't need to.
yeah, I
bring
got
it
more
up.
media badges than you guys did.
Yeah,
so
probably.
I-
Yeah. Ooh, let's do time for bets. Last week's bet was about. No, let's do a new bet first. Why do I always mess that up? Okay. At this time next week, which game's E3 trailer will have the most views? And before I say, like, this isn't just like what's the most popular game, because last year's most viewed E3 trailer was Fallout 76's E3 trailer. And it got boosted by ad buys, basically, by it just rolling in before other videos. So it's like not like the fairest gauge to go by. So that's part of our factor in what we're saying here. It's like, what's going to be the most viewed game considering marketing budget as well?
I just picture in my head Todd Howard like in a dark room going, boost it.
It's like, Todd, we're number 1. Boost it more. It's just like,
Hey,
it's like twice as much too.
boost it.
We can take that money and fix these bugs. Boost it.
We could hire 3 more people. Boost it. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, Jonesy, what's your bet?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Ooh, I like that.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Ride or Die.
Nice.
Resident Evil 3.
Ooh, great pick.
The unannounced, the bold unannounced pick.
I'm sticking with that Bethesda money with Doom Eternal. I forgot the end, but you know what I meant. Let me lock those in.
Dude, Doom deserves it.
Doom deserves it. I think it'll get a bunch from genuine interest. I think it'll be a good trailer, and I think Bethesda's gonna boost it. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna want it, man. Last week's bet was about Death Stranding. We knew there was gonna be some sort of thing, a trailer, some gameplay reveal. We knew there was something coming at this point. And then the question was, how many new faces will be revealed? Jonesy bet 2, Bloodworth bet 3, Damiani bet 1, I bet 6. Now help me work through this, everyone.
Okay, I was wondering how much work was involved in
Does
this.
the blurry face in the photograph count?
No, because I think we know who that is.
Do we?
Yeah, I think that's Ma or Mama.
No, Mama's the woman with glasses.
Yep, I think that's her.
You think that's Mama?
I think that is the main character's ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-whatever.
Wouldn't that not be the blonde woman who bleeds tears?
I think that's his mom, or he works for the president.
Okay.
That's like his boss,
Sure.
basically.
President,
This hurts.
new. President's a new face.
Well, we didn't know she was president, but not a new face. We've
The
seen
woman in the stretcher? The old woman in the stretcher?
That's Lindsay Wagner. That's the same woman in the red dress with the blonde hair.
Oh. Okay, cool. Mama's new.
Yes.
That is some person
Big
we've never
Mama.
seen before. Hartman, new.
Yeah.
What's the name of the director?
Refn.
Refn. Die Hardman, new.
Is that the guy with black mask?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's weird. As I'm like going through this trailer, it says lumens on his mask. I'm like, don't do this, man. This goes deeper than ever. Higgs. We see his face for the first time. So Troy Baker was in the TGS trailer, and you see the cool like lion thing,
Yeah.
but you did not see his face. So this is the first time you see Troy Baker's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
the
got to
Just-
vote on that because it is like a very clear face reveal.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
Even though we did know that was Troy, so we technically knew. the
And
face.
I don't know
But
if this counts. The Skeleton Warriors, they do have a face. At the
They have
end,
no face.
Maz is coming out of the swamp,
skeletons.
and it's so cool. He like lights a cigar by something that he knows is passing by in the other realm. Uh,
What a Kojima-esque
So
shot,
I know.
sick.
cigarette, I guess. But anyway, so then like he's got some like skeleton warriors pop up. And we said like if there's a character like a bad guy that's a multiple of cronies, we said that would count as one face.
Okay.
Do the skeletons count as cronies? Does that count as a new face that's been revealed?
No,
no,
because they're
because
skeletons. They don't have a face.
They do, man. His face isn't skin.
But we've seen Mads, tether people before. We've seen him strand.
Not their clear. They did not have skull faces before.
They might have. They just had helmets on when he was in
Right.
the tunnel.
Well,
The
so
first time
that-
we saw Mads.
That is why I would count it as a face reveal because they're not wearing a mask. Those are like a clear
In
skeleton
Face
heads.
Off, if you take someone's face off, they don't have a face.
Wow. We're
These skeletons do not have faces. It is just a skull.
he's got a point.
It's not a face.
It is a face.
It's not a face.
It's eyes, nose, and a mouth.
No. Nope.
You're telling
No
me.
face.
You're telling
No
me.
face.
If I rip off the hands of a clock, the clock has no face anymore.
Whoa.
What?
Weird comparison.
The face of a clock is the front-facing surface,
Right.
yeah, it's
just like the
it's
face of a
surface.
thing. Yes.
No,
So
you-
a skull can have a face.
time to
No.
get it
If that
outside,
skeleton
no.
soldier tried to access his new iPhone, he would not be able to.
He would.
He'd be like, you don't have a face anymore.
iPhones can recognize a skull. I know they can.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, face.
Okay, here we go.
Noun. The front part of a person's head from the forehead to chin, or the corresponding part in an animal.
No skin mentioned.
No skin.
There is no skin
Okay.
mentioned.
I think we have to count at least one of the skeletons as one face.
Definition 2,
Yeah.
the surface of a thing, especially one that is presented to the view or has a particular function.
I think one of the other things too that stood out for
Okay.
me, because I always try to gather as many of those as I can, because it's always so much like concept coming from Hideo. The red eyes, I was like, oh, that's totally a stealth mechanic where like you're gonna be going through an area that there's no lights turned on at all. You can just hear those things and you can see them. Like you can see it from a really from far away. So it's not just a throwaway enemy. Like no, that's a very specific like enemy type.
Yeah.
So that's why it seems like not just he's just grabbing more soldiers. It's like that feels a little different that they were showing them off.
So I'd make 5 new faces. The reason I'm fighting this so hard is it's either between Damiani with this 4-bet and me and my 6-bet. I'm taking it. I'm
This
taking
ain't
this.
right.
Sorry, Damiani.
This feel a little
This is
weird.
not right.
He
It's not a
didn't account
face.
for skeleton faces, did you, Damiani?
We need like a surgeon
well, if
expert.
it's not that, give me the blurry photo, which Jones is assuming is Mama for no reason.
It just seemed she has dark hair and they were
Lots
just
of women have dark hair,
they were just
Jones.
throwing lots of
But if
there's
it's
just not many
5
characters in that game.
If it's 5, that means you're both equally close.
No, I'm 1 away. His bet was 3.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it was 4. I
Yeah,
thought.
my bad. Yeah. Blood was 3.
This
Damiani had
whole-
1. Sorry, it was not. Damiani was way
This doesn't
off.
feel good.
Blood had 3.
This
Blood
doesn't
had
feel
3.
right.
This room's getting really smoky.
And it's tough because there's that one scene with the huge crowd on the beach, but they're all their backs
They're
are
all
turned.
facing. Those aren't faces. I wouldn't count them. I looked. I'm taking it, man. Stop me.
Did you spend more time figuring out the faces than pulling news stories?
Yes, big time. We missed some big scoops this week.
There's a couple new things. There's like the big blob monster. There's like that weird shrouded figure that pops up really quickly before
No
we cut
faces
away,
on
but
those.
we don't. Yeah, we
no,
don't
no,
see
to be
faces.
honest with you, like it really became to those 6. I was like, I can make an argument for each of these 6. Really surprising the president of jack shit. Really surprising that she is the same woman as the blonde woman.
Because I mean, they show her like bedridden. Like I think she dies, and then all those visions you're seeing are her trying to communicate.
Different face though.
Different like makeup and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, definitely.
Hard to argue. Like same.
Just her, just like
Actor capture,
out
yeah.
in the rain in this skimpy red dress. It's like that's a vision. That's not a,
Gotcha.
Or maybe she's trying. Maybe she's in that other realm, and that's what she looks like.
There's
trying to
time
cross
stuff,
over.
man. There's time stuff
sure.
too, bro.
I wonder how many people turned the podcast off.
A lot of people like turn it off right after corrections. They're like, I'm good. That was good. Do we want to like postpone the point?
No, I think so. I mean, you know how I'm going to vote because I want the point. I
Yeah.
think if the two of them can legitimately vote against it, then 2-1 goes to Damiani. It's up to Huber and Ben.
You could use the green thumb.
Oh, and just to take
Yeah,
it.
use the green thumb.
What?
Don't say use the green.
You have a power to cancel out any bet.
Just be like, no, we win that one.
Yeah.
That one's for us.
When did we
That
get
feels
this?
wrong too. I'm not
You
using
won it
that.
because you won last year. Because the
I'm
Gorgeous
not-
Gorillas are champions, you win a green thumb.
I'm not using
You
the-
can't use a green thumb after results. Okay.
I'm not using the green thumb.
I'm taking that point. Scrappy Little Pigs 13. Gorgeous Gorillas 10.
Put an asterisk on that.
I'm willing to give the point back. I will give you the point back if anyone can prove that those skull faces were in a previous trailer, and also that the blurry face is indeed Mama. If you have evidence of that,
Were there
I don't have
any
evidence. Just bring it to
were
my
there Skull
doorstep.
soldiers in the first ever trailer with Del Toro? Don't they come
question.
out of the like
That's what I'm
tunnel?
saying when we first meet Mads. I don't
think they have distinct skull faces.
I think they'll have helmets on.
Yeah. I think that their
I
faces
don't.
are covered.
But I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Until then, dude.
You know the corrections are going to be dense.
Bring it on. The haters love to
Yeah.
correct me.
The
Bring
two
it on.
images
Post your
right next to each
credentials,
other.
your medical credentials as well, when
know-
referring to a face.
But you saw that trailer. You know a 6-bet is more right than a 3-bet. You know it in your heart.
I would love Kojima to correct you.
Please. Yeah. Please. And he's like, 12. Find them. I'm like, oh no! Why? 12. Okay. Up. Oh, patreon.com/easyallies. If you would like to get this podcast on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays, there is an option for that. If you give us $5 or more a month, you get that podcast early. You get to submit to our silly segments like Love and Respect, like Glenny's Cauldron. There will be a new one next week because Glenny's Cauldron's done. We need a new opening segment.
Yeah.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Is it faces?
We count how many new
A
faces
most
in a
vile
trailer.
face.
And we have a long discussion about it. That's that. I promised everybody I'd tell you about the Glenny's Cauldron Game Jam. It's time. So if you go to itch.io, you will get details about the Glenny's Cauldron Game Jam. It's going to run for a month. That's a long time, everybody. Don't spend a month on your game. That's just for everybody to don't crunch. Don't crunch on your Glenny game is what I'm asking. Just trying to give everybody as much time as possible. So but don't work too much on it. You have to choose between making Glenny's game and Kasarara's game. They have different criteria. You don't have to use all of them. 6 minimum I'm going with, I think. By the way, I'm going to put it live Friday when the podcast goes public. So to anyone who gets early access or wondering where it is, it's not live yet. I want to make it fair to everybody. Anyway, here is what is in Glenny's Cauldron. Pressing the pause button during a cutscene skips the cutscene. Actually, that got taken out by Capcom. We lost that one. Do not put that in your game. You have a 1% chance to not be able to do a double jump. Spells that inflict status effects virtually never work on bosses. The first waterfall you discover has a secret cave, but the following 23 do not. Instant death from touching the side of a spike. Not the dangerous points, but the side of the spikes. Every loading screen is a bright blank white screen.
Love that.
Me too. Customizable hairstyle, but every selection clips through your weapon and armor. The final boss of the game is a character first introduced directly prior to the final boss fight. The game's soundtrack was written by Nobuo Uematsu, but performed by 4th graders with recorders. L3 is entering stealth mode, while R3 is a super loud special attack. But if the character faces the camera, the order is reversed. There's a cutscene where all the characters in your party hear news of a death of an NPC that was mentioned once before in the story. They all act incredibly devastated, even though this character was insignificant. You may name this character Dovis. The game has a hunger meter. Every time your character is hungry, a loud stomach grumbling sound effect will play. The sound effect can drown out important pieces of dialogue or other important sounds. No buildings can be entered. Anytime you attempt to enter one, your character says it's not the right time for that. The lore of the world is that the main character can fast travel, but your companions cannot. When you fast travel, all your companions have to traverse the world manually, and their pathing mechanics only work so well. About 95% of the time, they can path back to you if you sleep at an inn for the night if you fast travel from a road, but only 50-50 if you travel from a dungeon. All other times, they will get stuck somewhere. Every town has a mandatory bad anime hot spring scene. The slogan is "Get ready to explode your balls in a firestorm of dust and skeletons," and the celebrity likeness is Justin Bieber playing the role of Squealin' Shay Higgins. Kasarara's game, my favorite. Deep bass, oh no, every time you die. The interact button to talk to an NPC is the same button as a use consumable item, which is a precious resource. The character sprites in the overworld don't look like the character portraits in the menu. Not having a way to tell how much time you've played. After you get the main villain's HP close to 0, a cutscene plays out in which the villain overpowers your character and takes them captive. The game is fully voice acted, but only by one guy. A real-time, 24-hour day-night cycle, and all shops and merchants are only open for business from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Before the menu, a trailer-like video is played which shows one of your party members betraying you. The game launches with a cool jetpack mechanic, but doesn't feature anything cool to do with it. This one's my favorite. There's a minor NPC early on in the game that shares the exact character model as the player. This is never explained or acknowledged by anyone in the game. I can't believe we let Kasarara have this one. Redeeming codes found under the cap of participating Mountain Dew beverages unlocks powerful armor covered in Mountain Dew branding. If you abstain from the promotion, your party will occasionally comment about how good a Mountain Dew would taste about right now. Every time you move off screen, the enemies instantly respawn Ninja Gaiden NES style. You have an extremely annoying small sidekick who will, in particular, randomly trip you over and giggle and say, "Don't mind me." And despite having no likable characteristics, everyone in the game everyone in the game, your character included, loves this piece of trash. Suggested name, Sleazer. You can input up to 4 lowercase letters for your party members' names, but the default presets are all clearly over that limit while also being horrible names. The slogan is Hurt Me Daddy. Oh no. It's got an I am from Carcerar. He went ahead and bought that celebrity likeness we didn't buy.
Yeah.
So in Carcerar's game, you will see the likeness of Ian McKellen as the randy old man. Woo! So, if you would like to make either of those games, check out itch.io, search for Glenny's Cauldron Jam, look at all the details. If you're just interested in seeing what people are doing, we're going to make it public. Anyone in the world can be a judge. I think you still have to make an itch.io account, but I'll make more details about that as the month goes on. The winner will be streamed by the Easy Allies on a group stream. We're going to play your Vile game because I'm interested in it. There will be a time limit. Like, don't make the game like an hour long because then we won't be able to play them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe like hours maximum for that kind of thing. I don't really know how that'll go. We did it, baby.
Yeah.
You all ready for E3?
I have
What?
one more piece of information.
Oh.
My terms of the bet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, baby.
GoldenEye multiplayer, 2 hours. And you
Redemption.
And you got to set up everything. You got to get the 64. You got to get the right Elgato and all that stuff. So I literally just show up to this office and play it.
Done.
And I, if you want to do those terms, I will take care of. I don't know. Do you have 15? Do you have comrades like ready to go?
I can easily get it.
Okay. So that's not an issue. Okay. Yeah.
But you would both need to
Oh
play
yeah,
it.
we'd both need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So all right.
Yeah. 3 hours of multiplayer?
No, just 2.
Just 2.
All I
Mine
need
was
is 2.
3. Mine was 3.
Yes.
Okay.
But you're just saying 2. Mm-hmm. Okay.
What if you lose a lot?
I'll have a good time. That's the whole point.
Okay.
As long as Huber can admit for 2 straight hours he's not having any fun at all, then he can stick to his guns.
Jones, it did not look like you were having a good time the last time I saw Huber thwomping you.
Because I wanted to win, whereas I know I'm asking a lot to try to overcome Huber and his innate GoldenEye abilities. So I'll just enjoy myself.
Because I allegedly won the bet this week, I've got the right responsibility to share my Twitter handle with the world. I get to promote any Easy Allies video I'd like to promote. I get to sign off with my trademark sign off, and I get the final word on anything I've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or simply popped into my head at this moment. The video I would like to promote is the Easy Allies E3 2019 betting special.
Did that happen already?
Maybe. Depends on
right.
Ian's edit, basically. Yeah, depends on how long the edit took. Could have taken a while. Please check that out. That is, I love doing betting specials. We went wild this year, I think, hey, we're not done with it yet at this point. We still got to get Ian and Don in, but pretty good. Like, it's fun. It's a fun year for a betting special.
Really fun.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out. You know what I learned as I was like preparing this year? If you just type in betting special, Google knows you're thinking about Easy Allies. Nobody else makes a thing called a betting special. You know, it's like
Epic.
Nice. It's kind of dumb. Yeah, that's ours, baby. So yeah, betting specials are easy to find. Cool. I am at Kyle Bossman on Twitter. My final word is look, Black Eyed Peas. You are talented artists. It was wrong of me to just wag my finger at them trying to do a good thing and not having success with it. It's just kind of like a sad fact. You know, it's just like they tried really hard to bring back something that they had great success with. And that's one of my worst fears is trying to do something you already did, doing it worse, and then not having that anymore. So it was sad to see it happen to Black Eyed Peas. But I assume they're all working still, and it's still probably a good life to be one of the Black Eyed Peas. My sign off is tomorrow is forever all ours.
Sexy.